About some of the principals for the Los Angeles Raiders, their Rookie of the Year candidate in the NFL. Number 32, Marcus Allen. Allen, the Heisman Award winner from Southern California, leads the National Football League. He has 12 touchdowns, 9 rushing, 3 receiving, 2 last week against the Denver Broncos.
Some players are just never rookies. Marcus Allen came into this league playing like a veteran. The important thing that he brings to this Raider team is dimension. His tremendous speed and running ability inside, and if you stop him as a runner, he'll hurt you as a pass receiver.
Now let's switch to the San Diego Chargers. Dan Fouts, the veteran quarterback from the University of Oregon, and Air Coryell. Fouts, the leading passer in passing efficiency in the NFL, and he has that tremendously talented core of receivers, including Kellen Winslow, who has led the National Football League in receptions the last 2 years. Fouts has a special year going.
He certainly does. And Don Coryell has constructed this offense around the special abilities of Dan Fouts, especially his ability to read defenses. I don't think there's a player in the league. I personally feel that no player in the league is more important to his team than Dan Fouts is to the San Diego Chargers.
And the Charger fans, of course, they have shown their superlatives. They have those decorating the walls of this stadium as they get ready for the kickoff. And across the way, the head man for the Los Angeles Raiders, Tom Flores. He knows a victory today would give him entire home field advantage in the playoffs with an 8-1 record. A loss would drop him to the 4th best record in the AFC.
On the other side of the field, Don Coryell, one of the most intense coaches in professional football, and a man who lives and breathes and eats and sleeps offensive football. One of the very bright, innovative minds of the passing game. Certainly a man whose time has arrived with the new emphasis in football on the pass.
The Chargers, if they should beat the Raiders today, would have the 2nd best record in the AFC. That's presuming that Miami's going to win at Baltimore. So there's a lot at stake, and if anyone can remember the importance of home field, it would be the Chargers, who had to play the AFC Championship game in frigid Cincinnati last year and did not play well. Jim Tunney with a toss of the coin.
One of the nice things about this game, both of these teams have great speed offensively, and this field is very hard. It's an extremely fast track out there. We're going to have some fun, people trying to keep up with each other today.
Now the Chargers have, in the last 3 games under Fouts, total yardage of over 500 yards in wins against San Francisco, Cincinnati, and again last week against Baltimore. And Fouts has been the man that ignites it all. He's the catalyst, and great talent surrounding him.
He certainly has gotten great performance out of Wes Chandler. 7 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. Chandler has really arrived as a performer here in San Diego.
There are the numbers. National Football League. Fouts with the most passing yards. Montana. Ken Anderson, who had a big day today for Cincinnati in a victory. 20 in a row for Anderson, a new NFL record. And for the Los Angeles Raiders, perhaps not so impressive the statistics of Jim Plunkett, but we all know about that vertical passing game of the Raiders, and they can hit you in a hurry.
And Plunkett has thrown 7 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks, so they've gotten things going offensively. They bring into this game a very strong defense. That's going to be the matchup of the day, perhaps, the Raider defense against the Charger offense.
Especially the Raiders, who lead the NFL in sacks. We'll see if they can pressure Fouts. No one has really been able to accomplish that this year. Deep to return, Greg Pruitt and Cleo Montgomery. Benershka to kick it off for San Diego. It's a beautiful 65-degree day. Montgomery at the 1. And he's covered at the 23-yard line. Andre Young, number 49, one of the 3 rookies on this San Diego team. Raiders come on the field. Jim Plunkett, the quarterback. Heisman Award winner himself from Stanford University. He has with him in the backfield Kenny King from Oklahoma. And the man we've been talking so much about and is the talk of the NFL, rookie Marcus Allen, who is in the top 10 in both rushing and in receiving. Tight end will be Todd Christensen, number 46. He had 8 catches, 1 for a touchdown against San Diego in the earlier L.A. victory. Cliff Branch and Malcolm Barnwell are the wide receivers, both to the left. Plunkett on a screen to Marcus Allen. A flag is down. So is Allen. Louis Kelcher made the tackle along with David Lewis. The penalty is holding against Los Angeles.
rather a silly place to hold. You want to let the offensive or the defensive line penetrate, but perhaps someone had broken so clean that they were going to come in on top of Plunkett before he was ready to throw.
The Raiders, the most penalized team by far in the National Football League, averaging about 90 yards by penalties a game this year.
Holding 79, 10 yards, still first down.
Bruce Davis, the left tackle, with the hold. Brings the ball back to the 14-yard line. There's the offensive backfield of the Raiders and the receivers. Offensive line, Davis, Marsh, Dalby, Marvin, and Lawrence. First down from the 14. Allen to the 20, 25. Fumble, and the Raiders recover at the 33-yard line. They're going to rule the ball down at the 30. Kelcher made the tackle, and a fine run by Marcus Allen as he picked up some 16 yards.
Go back and take a quick look at certainly the rookie of the year in everyone's book. Allen runs right out of the grasp of Lewis right there, cuts back inside. Williams misses him. Fox misses him. Finally, Louis Kelcher gets it from the backside, and Laird there to finish it up, number 30. Kelcher banged himself up a little on the play. He's come out. Wilbur Young has gone in his place.
You could see clearly that Allen fumbled when he hit the ground. Ball dead. Plenty of time. And then almost intercepted by Mike Williams. Good coverage on Todd Christensen. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Plunkett and the Raiders.
Plunkett shaking his head, threw into good coverage there. They really had covered Todd very comfortably. Todd, of course, with such a big game against the Chargers in that earlier victory when they came back from that large deficit, 24-0 in the first half.
Defense for the Chargers, Jones, Kelcher, Johnson, and Ferguson, a 4-man front. Somewhat a rarity. Linebackers King, Thrift, and Lowe. Jeff Allen, Mike Williams at the corners. Fox and Laird to San Diego by trade this past year are the safety men. Plunkett has the first down as he's popped by 57, Lyndon King. Down at the 36-yard line, a 6-yard scramble to a first down for Plunkett.
Jim Plunkett, not the kind of quarterback who enjoys running the football, but will run it when he has to. This particular case, all his receivers were covered. He's looking for a place to get to the ground. Takes a pretty shot there from Cliff Thrift.
And he was dazed, Merlin. He's gone off the field staggering like a fighter that just had taken a right cross to the chin. And Mark Wilson, number 6, who has thrown the ball only 2 times all year, is the quarterback. Plunkett trying to clear his head. Wilson from BYU. He knows what to do with it. Give it to Allen. And Allen ducks out of bounds after a gain of about 8 yards to the 44.
A little bit of irony. It was just a couple of years ago that we watched Jim Plunkett come onto this field in relief of Dan Pastorini, a critical 4th down situation, throw a pass under intense pressure that kept Oakland in the ball game, and of course later on went on to that fantastic year leading Oakland to the Super Bowl.
And now it's Wilson subbing for Plunkett. Lanky 6'6" quarterback in his 3rd year out of Brigham Young. 2nd and 2. Kenny King going to be close to a first down. Appears to be about a half-yard short. Gary Johnson. Keith Ferguson made the tackle. Johnson, number 79, named to the Pro Bowl. As the Chargers, many of them were honored in the vote of coaches and players around the league, and Johnson has been in on that ball carrier all year long. Here comes Plunkett back into the huddle. Chandler, Winslow, Wilkerson, Fouts, Johnson, Muncy, and Benershka all make the Pro Bowl for San Diego. Allen, Hendricks, and Hayes for the Raiders. Allen has the first down at the 47-yard line. Lyndon King, 57, the tackler.
Plunkett pulling in for the first down. They'll move the sticks. Getting off to a good start in this ball game. Looks like he's got his hair cleared now.
Yeah, they overcame that penalty of holding on the very first down that back at their 14, but Marcus Allen's long run, 16 yards, starting this drive. Plunkett's 15 interceptions bothering him, and of course the Raiders, he's tied with Joe Ferguson, most interceptions this year. Penalty flag down. Christensen at the Charger 45. We may have a motion call against the Raiders.
Let's go in and take a closer look at quarterback Jim Plunkett. Plunkett, of course, one of those fine athletes who's managed to survive a lot of tough going in the NFL. A rather awkward throwing style for a quarterback. Not known as a pretty thrower, but believe me, he has completed more than his share of throws. The other thing he likes the deep game. He's a big play quarterback and sometimes has trouble when defenses force him to throw under the zones. San Diego, running so many zone defenses, will force him to do that today.
Illegal formation, end on the line of scrimmage was covered by the flanker. Still first down.
You must have 7 men on the line of scrimmage, 7 or more. Illegal procedure. There's Johnson from Grambling, big hands, the #1 pick in 75, 2 times an All-Pro, and undoubtedly will make those All-Pro lists again this year. Allen following the lead block of Kenny King to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 11, and guess who made the stop?
Gary Big Hands Johnson going head-to-head with Kurt Marsh, a very strong young rookie. Neutralizes the block, breaks to the outside, and is able to get his hands around the waist of Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen still pulling away for a little yardage there, but good play by the veteran defensive tackle. 2nd
down, 11. Branch, the speed man to the left. Barnwell, he's not exactly slow, is to the bottom of your picture. Todd Christensen, the tight end. Plunkett stepping away from pressure, could not hit Allen. It'll be 3rd and 11, and Gary Johnson trying to get his big hands on Plunkett.
Would love to get a hold of him. Part of the equation that we'll be watching all day long is how much time will these quarterbacks have to throw. What kind of pressure will we be able to get them? And certainly both quarterbacks would like to establish a running game to take some pressure off the passing game.
It's important for Tom Flores. He knows a win means he plays in the Coliseum throughout the playoffs. Of course, the Rose Bowl hosts the Super Bowl. Keith Ferguson and Louis Pelcher sack Plunkett.
Equation we talked about, and this is the way to make it difficult for a quarterback or an offensive team. You put the squeeze on him and you take him to the ground. Gary Johnson there along with Pelcher, but it was Ferguson, young veteran that's really making a name for himself here in San Diego, who was first on the tackle.
San Diego with only 16 sacks this year. The Raiders lead the league with 35, but a big one for the Bruise brothers, as they're called in San Diego, and Raymond Guy to punt. James Brooks at the 14. Good coverage by the Raiders at the 16-yard line. Chester Willis, number 38, the tackler, and we have a timeout. Mazda will invite you to experience the all-new Mazda 626 by Gillette Atra Razor, the twin blade razor that pivots for a close, comfortable shave. And by Holiday Inn, the only hotel chain that gives you a no excuses room guarantee. San Diego with possession for the first time at the 21-yard line after a 9-yard return of a 49-yard Raymond Guy punt. And Dan Faust goes to work. Good protection. There's Winslow, incomplete. Mike Davis on the coverage for the Raiders. Check that San Diego offense. Faust in his 10th year and brilliantly throwing the football this season as the quarterback. John Capoletti, he basically is the blocker. Chuck Muncie, the runner and receiver. We'll see a lot of James Brooks in the backfield. tremendous core. Joyner, Winslow, and Chandler having a brilliant year. Shields, Wilkerson, Masick, White, and Washington have allowed Fouts to be sacked only 9 times all year. That's Eric Sievers, backup tight end in motion. Muncy, a huge hole. There was no one left in a black uniform when Muncy finally went down. Bob Nelson saved the touchdown.
Chuck Muncy showing tremendous acceleration, little cross blocking trap on the inside, able to seed off the blockers. That was 55. Matt Millen getting a crunching block on the outside. I believe that's Ed White on top of him. But Muncy showing quick acceleration. They're going to have to measure it for the first down.
Merlin, someone else that showed quick acceleration, if we could see that again, was number 88 in the black and white, Pat Harder, the umpire. Of course, he's right in the thick of that. That's his position. And Harder was a first down, says Tunney. Harder was a great fullback. There he is, 88. Pat Harder. It's his last game. He's announced his retirement as an official. Watch him get out of the way.
Let me out of here, he says. That's great.
Well, he was a great player and a great official. Hopefully he'll get an assignment in the playoffs. If he does not, this will be his last game. First down, Fouts. Going long, Joyner. No flag. Ted Watts, number 20, in a bumping situation, but both were fighting for their legal rights.
You get a chance to see it for yourself. That's Ted Watts, 20, covering tight on Joyner. They're shoulder to shoulder and incidental contact. Joyner, of course, showing a little bit of acting ability there. Wasn't able to draw the flag from the official.
Appeared to be a good no call. 9 minutes, 31 seconds left in the first quarter. Teams have played since the first year of the old AFL in 1960, when the Chargers were the LA Chargers playing in the Coliseum, now the home of the Raiders. It is a small world. The first sack for the Raiders, Lyle Alzado, who leads the team with 6, make it 7 for the veteran from Yankton, South Dakota. Howie Long has also complimented that pass rush. Reggie Kinlaw, the middle guard. Ted Hendricks, he's on the way to another Pro Bowl with the big linebackers Millen and Nelson. Rod Martin, they felt he should have gone to the Bowl. Lester Hayes, he's a Pro Bowler. Ted Watts at the corners. Mike Davis, the hitter, and the veteran Burgess Owens at safety.
Alzado doing a good job of beating Billy Shields, big number 66 on that last play. Went all the way around, got Fouts from the backside.
Triple left formation, and Fouts has a man, Chandler. And down at the 48-yard line, first down. Rod Martin made the tackle.
One of the things that Dan Fouts will do is throw to receivers who are covered. He has so much confidence in his receivers. He throws this football into a double-covered Chandler, who simply breaks away as the defenders hit each other. Mike Davis, number 36, knocking himself off on that play. Let's watch Watts in the isolation now. Chandler just cutting inside, and it's Watts and Davis who knock each other down on that play.
27 yards for Chandler. This is Brooks. And he loses a couple. Back to Chandler with a 27 yards, Merlin, on that last catch. He already, now this is just the 9th game of the year, Wes Chandler has 921 yards receiving. He might well have 1,000 yards in this shortened season. That's phenomenal.
That's hard to believe. And look at the totals for the 3 receivers. Winslow with 645, Joyner with 503, a total of over 2,000 yards.
That's more yardage than all the rest of the NFL teams on offense except 3. Second down, 12. Open. Chandler again. And he is so dangerous with the ball after the catch. Ted Watts won't let him go.
21 yards on that play. When Chandler came here from New Orleans, I talked to Dan Fouts about his special abilities. Fouts said, we hated to see John Jefferson leave, but this young man may be a better receiver in time even than John Jefferson. And the reason is that he has such great talent after he catches the football. Hey, let go of me, huh?
Watts doesn't want him to go back to the huddle. He's seen enough of him already.
I don't blame him.
First down at the 29. And James Brooks burrows for about 3, maybe 4. Alzado and Howie Long, the tacklers.
Brooks has certainly earned his share of respect in the NFL. Not a big back, but averaging 5 yards a carry and surprisingly strong. You talk to linebackers like Matt Millen, and they'll tell you he really will deliver a blow on there. Amazingly strong up inside.
Well, we talked about Anthony Carter, and every time he touched the ball, 17 yards. Well, Brooks this year, over 9 yards every time he handles the ball. Fouts, the quick hitter to Winslow. He's down shy of the 20, short of the first down. Winslow, who leads the AFC in catches, now has his 49th of this year.
Chance to watch Eric Sievers, number 85, who is blocking. He's going to get a piece of Rod Martin one way or another, try and keep Martin out of the pattern. And Kellen Winslow, let's see how he got open for that pass. A little fake inside and just stops. And again, you see Mike Davis giving him room because of the tremendous speed of the big tight end. You've got to play him like a wide receiver.
Veteran Charlie Joyner in motion. There he is. First and goal at the 9-yard line.
Such accuracy with the football. Again, Fouts throwing to a receiver that's double covered. Look at that. Two Raiders closing in from the outside, but Fouts throwing with tremendous confidence and tremendous accuracy, and also a great deal of velocity on that pass.
And great protection, 63, Doug Wilkerson. Chuck Muncie is trapped and dropped for a loss. Ted Hendricks, those long arms of Hendricks, playing in his 199th consecutive game, and still a brilliant linebacker.
We got a quick look at Doug Wilkerson, number 63. Wilkerson, one of what they would call 5 tackles around the league. Defensive linemen who have to play against this offensive line here in San Diego are just frustrated by the physical size and strength of that front line.
Second and goal from the 10. Make it the 11. Surprising call. Muncie straight ahead. They were hoping to catch the Raider defense, thinking pass and maybe in a blitz. Hendricks once again makes the tackle along with Kinlaw.
With that running play, we have a chance to watch Wilkinson showing part of his skill as he just buried McClanahan. Oh, that's 55. Millen diving in there. He just laid on him, covered him up. Muncie breaking over the outside, but not a big gain. Fouts will go to the air on this 3rd and 9.
A pass situation, and Alzado ready to tee off. 3rd and goal. Almost intercepted and should have been by Purchase Owens, and then Wes Chandler had a chance at the carom.
One of the things you tell defensive backs, when that ball is in the air, if you can't get it down on the ground. Don't tip it around where the receivers have a chance. Fouts not able to go to his initial receiver, has time, throws a pass that could conceivably have been intercepted by 2 men, Owens and Davis, who was behind him. But as you said, Dick, Chandler, with his great concentration on the football, almost able to get there and intercept it.
27-yard try by Benershka. And it's good. Ralph Benershka, 15 for 20 this year.
Go back and look at that last play. Ted Watts, 20, covering Chandler on that play. Chandler breaking open. I think he was perhaps the intended receiver. Ball bounced away. Chandler comes back to try and pick it up, unable to do so.
Drive from their 22 to the Los Angeles 9, settled for the field goal by Benershka, who will now kick it off to Montgomery and Pruitt. 4:07 left in the first quarter. Montgomery at the goal line. Return by Cleo Montgomery, the brother of the Eagles' brilliant running back Wilbert Montgomery. 36 yards on the return, a timeout. The Raiders have the football. They need 3 to tie. In Merlin Olsen, San Diego Stadium, the temperature 65 degrees at kickoff. A perfect football afternoon. These two long-standing rivals. Chargers ahead 24-0 in their first game and lost 28-24. Here comes Plunkett to Barnwell, and a first down at the Raider 49-yard line. The scores today of the earlier games, and of course now we can start to fit the playoff puzzle together. New England is in. They've beaten the Buffalo Bills 30-19. Chuck Knox's team is out. Kansas City with the surprise of the day, beating the Jets handily. The Giants surprised the Eagles 26-24. We'll have to see whether or not they'll be in the playoffs. Washington, the best record in the NFL at the moment, 28-0 over St. Louis. The Redskins 8-1. The Raiders trying to do the same. Wide open, Branch, and he's out of bounds at the Charger 32-yard line.
Los Angeles Raiders love the deep patterns, and no one runs them better for them than Cliff Branch, number 21. And how many times have we seen him come up with the deep play, with a deep shot? Plunkett had plenty of time to wait for Branch to find the opening in the zone defense. Gives him the football on that reception. Let's look at the time Plunkett has here. Kenny King stepping up to a little fake there and a block. He's got time to almost eat his lunch back there before Ferguson finally hits him from behind.
Raiders trailing 3-0. Marcus Allen, big hole. Oh, what a move! He's to the 15-yard line and a first down. Oh, a major league move by young kid from San Diego Lincoln High School, then to USA, and now a Raider.
I would not like to be down there trying to tackle Marcus Allen. Just beautiful balance as he goes. Look at that little stutter step right there. Able to elude a second tackler. Ran right through the first tackler. A blend of great power and great physical balance. Has his body in control all the time.
Started it with power and finished with a finesse and a first down at the 15. And he could not control it. Todd Christensen was wide open in the end zone. The rest of the scores, and I believe now the AFC picture is, well, not quite until we get this final. 30-21. It appears the Steelers are going to beat the Browns. The Browns are in. Cincinnati, they're right in the top of the AFC, 35-27 over Houston. Chicago and Tampa Bay are now in overtime. Tampa Bay, if it wins, is in. Miami 34, Baltimore 7 fourth quarter, and San Francisco still with a hope to get in the playoffs, leading the Rams early. Barnwell to the 4-yard line, and that's going to be a first down for the Raiders. 11 yards on the pickup.
In the earlier game in Los Angeles, the Raiders were able to take advantage of the zones by throwing underneath the zone defenses of San Diego. They do it again. Look at how much room Barnwell has in front of those defenders. Jeff Allen laying off too far. You just can't give the receivers that much room and hope to do anything but come up and make the tackle.
First and goal, Los Angeles. Both Branch and Barnwell are wide left. They run the other way with Marcus Allen. No, sir, says Rover Young, number 99. Also in on the play, 59, Cliff Thrift, the middle backer.
Big Leroy Jones, number 68, at the bottom of that stack as well. Greg Pruitt, number 34, on the sideline talking to his coach. I would imagine that he's a messenger occasionally in this kind of situation if they want an extra back.
Todd Christensen has had an outstanding year, leads the Raiders, 36 catches, the tight end. They like to go to him down on the goal line. Kenny King, only a yard. Gary Johnson, 79, backed up by Cliff Thrift, 59, and Louis Kelcher was there as well.
Challenging that Charger defense right up the middle. Big Louis Kelcher moving inside, doing a good job of getting off the block. 65, Mickey Marvin there, and just throwing his close to 300 or slightly over 300 pounds into the path of the ball carrier.
Trailing 3-0, the Raiders, third and goal. number 30. When Allen reversed his field, there was no one on that side except Laird, who came up quickly and cut off the outside, forced Allen inside, and then the tackle.
It didn't work, but this is a big league play. Allen knows there's no percentage to the right. He goes back, and except for the alert play of number 30, Laird, who forced him back inside, might have been able to outrun the coverage and go all the way into the end zone.
So the Raiders apparently will go for a field goal, but they have time to think about it because that's the end of the first quarter. With Merlin Olsen, Dick Enberg, welcome back to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. The ball is at the 5-yard line. Don Coryell's Chargers leading 3-0. And Chris Barr will attempt a short field goal, 23 yards to tie it on 4th and goal. We have a new game on the first play of the second quarter. Barr nails the field goal. Barr 3, Benirska 3, Matuzak, well, he'll be accounted for later.
Signaling like an official.
We'll be back, tied at 3.
Baseball.
Chris Barr just kicking a 22-yard field goal to tie the game at 3. Second quarter, just 3 seconds old. Brooks is deep. Takes a lateral bounce out of bounds away from Hank Bauer. And Barr will have to kick again as Bauer let it go out of bounds.
Get all those B's together. Of course, one of the problems that Barr has had as a kicker is that he does not have as powerful a kicking leg as some of the other kickers in the league and does not tend to drive that ball well on the kickoffs. A disadvantage for the Oakland Raiders.
Let's look at the statistics, Merlin. The first quarter of action between the Raiders and the Chargers.
Raiders able to get off 18 plays to the Chargers 14. Rushing yardage certainly favoring the Los Angeles Raiders. Passing yardage in favor of the Chargers. Of course, important thing, it's like starting over again here in the second quarter. 3-3.
Yeah, the Raiders have had the ball 2 possessions, and the Chargers about to get it for the second time themselves.
Both teams able to move the ball offensively, and both teams able to control the ball offensively. One of these defenses is going to have to start picking up the pace, putting some squeeze on.
From the 30-yard line, you're right there on the Raider line to go down under the kickoff. Short. Brooks at the 14. 40. And he's out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Chris Barr himself in on the tackle.
On this play, the outside coverage man, number 82, Calvin Mohammed, is pulled to the inside as Brooks makes a brilliant fake up inside. Now watch Brooks fake inside and go outside. Number 82, Mohammed, is caught inside, allows Brooks to make about 7 extra yards.
If you are just joining us and you see that score, you're probably wondering, what, a defensive struggle? Hardly that. Both teams have moved the ball, but have had to settle for short field goals. And San Diego has it after a fine kickoff return at its 47. Wes Chandler double covered and fouts through the ball to the outside away from the black jerseys. In the AFC, with the finals now in, this is how it looks at the moment. The Raiders are 7-1. Cincinnati and Miami 7-2. San Diego could be 7-2 if they beat the Raiders. Pittsburgh 6-3. The Jets 6-3. As we update all of this, New England is in 5-4 and Cleveland is in 4-5. Those are the 8 teams. Muncy barreling to the 44. It'll be 3rd and 2. Reuben Vaughn and Johnny Robinson made the tackle.
Chuck Muncy, one of the hardest running backs in the NFL, just literally blows over number 44, Burgess Owens. Kellen Winslow, not only a great receiver, he'll throw a few blocks in there, gets in the way of Mike Davis and pushes him aside to keep him from being in on the tackle.
3rd down, about 1.5 yards. Well, no short yardage attempt. And Joyner can't come up with a catch. Lester Hayes on single coverage. Now there are the Chargers. Third and a long one. Most teams will try to get the yardage. Fouts was looking for something like 20 rather than 2. Didn't get it.
Fouts able to get it into the hands of Charlie Joyner. Joyner rarely drops that kind of opportunity. Did on that occasion, and we'll see the first punt of the ball game.
That was a catchable ball. Maury Buford, the rookie from Texas Tech, the punter for San Diego, averaging a little over 40 yards a kick this year. Greg Pruitt, the veteran, stands at the Raider 10. Aiming for out of bounds. And it goes in the end zone. First down, Raiders on the touchback. 44-yard punt. They're only a 24-yard net. We have 13:41 remaining in the first half. Bowl tournament, and there's one spot left today in the NFC. All the guys at NFL 82 will update you on that playoff picture that begins next Saturday and Sunday. Kenny King gains 5. Cliff Thrift, the tackler. It's tied at 3 here. Benerska, 27-yard field goal for San Diego, and Chris Barr counters with a 22-yard effort for the Raiders. Boy, Coryell looks in superb condition, doesn't he?
Does a lot of running and worries enough to keep his weight down, I'm sure.
58 years of age. Excellent condition. 2nd and 5. Almost intercepted by Mike Williams. It was Woody Lowe that deflected the ball. Todd Christensen appeared to be the target Plunkett was searching for.
Woody Lowe going high in the air, ball away, and just off the fingertips of Mike Williams, who's sick about missing an opportunity for an interception. Plunkett relieved that ball ended up on the ground. You saw the Raiders using the talents of Marcus Allen there, sweeping him wide out of the backfield and then breaking him up the field. And of course the defense very conscious of the catching ability of him on that play.
3rd and 5. His hole, looking for the daylight, and gained 6 and a first down, and it appeared the Chargers had him.
Rare to find a runner who can do that kind of stopping and stepping in the backfield and then get instant acceleration enough to break clear and pull down the first down yardage. Just a remarkable athlete, Dick.
It underlines again your point, Merlin. He has that terrific combination. Power, you see, and finesse.
And he rarely takes a straight shot. He's able to avoid the heavy shots.
Open Barnwell, and Woody Lowe gets him down at the 48-yard line. Another first down. Well, that was a nice fake toss to Allen, and then the quick shot up the middle to Barnwell.
A well-designed play to take advantage of the defense. Watch the fake here. Fakes the toss out to Allen. You have to respect that. Then comes back very quickly to a wide open Barnwell down the middle. Had fooled the linebackers. They had started in pursuit of Marcus Allen, knowing how dangerous he is on the sweep.
17 yards for Barnwell, his 21st catch of the year. Christensen close to another first down inside the San Diego 42. Lyndon King of Colorado State, the tackler.
Todd Christensen, one of the players that Dallas let get away, and talking to Bob Ward, who's their strength and conditioning coach, he said Todd Christensen was the best athlete we had in our entire camp. Scored higher than anyone else in our. He really hated to see Todd get away. Well, the Raiders have certainly made use of his abilities this year.
Marcus Allen has a first down at the 39-yard line. And the Raiders in this 3-all tie continue to move well.
Todd Christensen, not only a receiver, he's not afraid to stick his head in there. Lyndon King, number 57. He's pushed out of the way very handily by the tight end, number 46, Todd Christensen.
Well, the Cowboys tried him at fullback. He had such great talent, size, and speed. They figured he'd be a good runner. Didn't quite find his home there. Wandered around, and finally the Raiders set out, puts it back where you belong. He was a receiver at BYU. Cliff Branch. And he's out of bounds at the 33. That'll be about 4 yards short of a first down. Lyndon King made the play for San Diego, and it appeared to be headed for a bigger gain for Branch. Some good blocking on the far side.
Branch did a good job of breaking around, and one of the challenges for any head coach is for any coaching staff is to make the best possible use of the talents and the tools that they have to work with. Branch has extremely fine speed, and they're using him in that case as a runner to try and catch the defense off guard, break the long.
Tim Fox, the veteran acquired from New England. Allen. He scores to the 2-yard line. And upset that he didn't get a touchdown. Tim Fox, who has double duty trying to stop the run as well as the pass. And Allen almost went the distance.
Tim Fox, number 48, man, is trying to run it down from behind, but boy, he's got his work cut out for him. Dives and just gets enough of a leg to pull Allen down. That play was really set up by the little dip at the line of scrimmage. Allen coming in, dipped where he was touching people, then broke back outside, went all the way down on the play. It's that little extra move that makes him the great back that he is.
The Raiders are going to call time. Marcus Allen, a 30-yard run. Allen already in this first half has 83 yards. Timeout. Game tied at 3. It's the start of that 30-yard run by Allen.
Now watch Marcus Allen take this little dip in right there. It looks like he's going into the line. That pulls the defenders in, and then he just glides to the outside. You saw how they were able to, that's setting up the blocks. And that's just an absolutely beautiful move by Marcus Allen.
First and goal for the Raiders at the 2. A fake to Allen, wide open, touchdown, Frank Hawkins. So Plunkett let the Chargers think it was Allen to get the ball, and then Hawkins, the other setback, wide open.
Great faking by Plunkett, and of course they respect the playing ability of number 32. They bit, and number 27, Frank Hawkins, all by himself. Watch the bite by the linebacker on this side. That's 57, King. He was so eager to get his hands on Marcus Allen. I don't think that's his responsibility, the outside. Someone else not there in coverage as well.
Barr trying to add the extra point. And the Los Angeles Raiders, looking for their 8th win against a single loss, jump into the lead. Plunkett using Allen as the decoy. Frank Hawkins for the touchdown. It's 10-3. 9:09 left in this first half. It's now 10-3 in favor of the Raiders. Both teams headed for the playoffs. I'm excited about the Super Bowl championship.
I am too, Dick, and I think the quality of the play is just getting to a point where the games are going to be played at top speed and with great emotion, and I think we're going to have some fun in the next 4 weeks.
And of course, stay with us at halftime. We'll have the teams that are in the playoffs and perhaps some of the matchups in the first week of the season. Brooks takes the touchback, and San Diego, trailing by a touchdown, begins at the 20-yard line. These are the finals. The Patriots are in the playoffs. Buffalo is out. Kansas City, the Jets are in. Kansas City not, but boy, did they humble the Jets today. Philadelphia had it in their grasp, but the Giants may now get the playoff spot. Washington 8-1. They have the best record in the NFC. Pittsburgh beats Cleveland, but Cleveland is in the playoffs, as are the Steelers. Houston gave Cincinnati a scare. The Bengals, one of the best records. That time, Tampa Bay eliminated Chicago. Tampa Bay is in. Muncie out of bounds at the 29, a gain of 9. Burgess Owens made the tackle. Miami has defeated Baltimore 34-7. That final just in. So the Dolphins, they're rooting for San Diego in this game. We'll tell you why. Rams have tied San Francisco first quarter. Other action late in the NFL. Detroit, I think they still have a hope there. 14-7 against Green Bay. The Packers are in. And the game, both those teams are out of it. And it's 3-2. New Orleans still has an outside chance. And they're leading Atlanta 7-3 second quarter. Muncy gets the first down. The reason why Miami is rooting for San Diego today, a Charger win would give Miami full home field advantage in the playoffs. If the Raiders win, then it's the Raiders that would be assured that home field advantage. 10-3 the score. The Raiders lead as they try to repeat their win in the Coliseum 28-24 against San Diego.
And as late into the year as we're playing, that home field advantage would be critical in some parts of the country, Dick.
Muncy, a step too long on the throw as Fouts tried to set it up with a pump fake down the middle and then rainbow the pass on the deep swing to Muncy.
San Diego Chargers rather unique in the way they approach pass protection. Fouts throws the ball quickly, normally gets it off from relatively close to the line, using the huge bulk, the size of his offensive line to protect him, and he has an agreement with them. He'll get the ball away quickly. He takes very few sacks, only 10 on the season so far, and even though he's been pressured today, the Raiders have not been able to get to him yet.
Fouts 5 for 11. Right into the grasp of Howie Long, number 75. Second-year man from Villanova. Alzado very high on Long. Kellen Winslow, who led the NFL in catches the last 2 years, 8 and 88 receptions, won't lead it this year, but still leads the AFC with 49, counting one today. What a target. He's only 24, 6'5 and a half, 251. Oh, what a hit on Fouts. Ted Hendricks, 83, has the Raiders' second sack and their 37th of the year, and Fouts almost dislodged from the football.
I must have been in the Raider huddle when I said they hadn't got to him yet. Well, they come with the all-out blitz. Not enough people to get on his back. And I'll take a correction on that. That's the second sack of the day for the Raiders. But the first one didn't hurt nearly as much as that one. They really stacked him up. The Stork, the Mad Stork, kick him.
36 years old. One game away from 200 in a row for Hendricks. 10 men coming on Buford, who lines one deep to Pruitt at the 30. 40. And out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Good return by the veteran from Oklahoma, Greg Pruitt. 46-yard kick, 18 yards on the return. Raiders have the ball and the lead. From San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, the Raiders of Los Angeles leading their rivals to the south. San Diego 10-3. Tom Flores' club has the football at the Raider 47. Henry Lawrence, who's had a fine year at right tackle from Florida A&M. He's cleared some holes for Allen. Plunkett to Christensen. Smothered at the San Diego 48, a gain of about 5. We pause briefly for station identification from San Diego, California. This is the NBC Television Network.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington, D.C.
7 for 11 and 77 yards, and has led his team into the lead 10-3. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen at San Diego Stadium on a sunny but cool 65-degree day. The Raiders playing for the top record in the American Football Conference. They've lost only one. Marcus Allen. Only a yard gain that time. Leroy Jones 6'8", got his long arms on the rookie to try to get outside.
Henry Lawrence, number 70, is the man trying to block Leroy Jones, trying to take him outside here. Marcus Allen, with the option to go inside or outside, elects to go outside, and big Leroy Jones gets out there and uses his 6'8" frame and those long arms to whip the running back out of bounds.
Third and a short 5. 5.5 minutes remaining in the half. Charger fans try to help the defense. Big Hands Johnson invades foreign territory. Pat Harder, the umpire there, telling Johnson, you were offside.
Well, you want to get some pump going and some excitement, but you don't want that much. And it would appear that one of the... Ooh, that hurts even up here. But it looks like one of the Raiders... No, they're going to say they didn't move.
Correction on the call. The call was enforcement defense.
Okay. An early signal was made to indicate the penalty was against Oakland, but you saw Gene Tunney correcting that mistake on the field.
And the replay showed that the Raider offensive line had not moved. Johnson was gambling on the snap count. Do you ever do that? Just guess that it's going to go on the first call? Or
well, you'd think that when you're playing defensive tackle and you're sitting right there on the football that you'd be able to move with the ball, but sometimes you just get so excited and so pumped that you think you see something move. Let's go down and look at that. Get a closer look at it. Now, the offsides will come from the right side of your picture there. Nobody moves a muscle but Big Hands Johnson, and then he moved Jim Plunkett's jaw about 6 inches, I think, too. I think I said Gene Tunney. That's Jim Tunney, Vinery's official and one of the best referees in the business.
Well, and he'd be complimented to be called.
Well, I think he would. Yeah, I think he would.
One of the greatest athletes in American history. From the 42, a first down. Raiders lead 10-3. Wide open is Allen, but the pass was overthrown. Coverage by Jeff Allen, not related, from Cal Davis.
Pair of Allens there. Plunkett really has been given a great deal of time by his offensive line and not able to capitalize on that one. Plunkett really does not throw the long pass as effectively as he did early in his career, but still has surprising power in delivering that football.
And there again, the example, Merlin, of the vertical game. Even though the pass incomplete, you stretch out that defense, make them think long. That can open it up underneath. Greg Pruitt, Louis Kelcher. They love Louis.
Pruitt utilized mostly as a return man and occasionally as a receiver, used as a runner there, but didn't fool Big Louie. Got a smile on his face after that one.
Kelcher listed at 282. That might be about 40 pounds shy.
He has lost some weight since we saw him last, Bobrick, in San Francisco.
Third and a short 9. Blitz. Keith Ferguson with his second sack. Leroy Jones was there as well.
Defensive coordinator Tom Bass said that's what we want. That's the way to get him. Get in there and sack Plunkett. Watch Plunkett here. Sees the blitz coming, but just can't avoid it. Got pressure to the right of him, pressure to the left of him. Nowhere to hide. Sacked by the two defensive ends, Ferguson and Jones.
All the way back to the Raider 45, so Raymond Guy to kick. James Brooks deep at the San Diego 10. Beautiful kick. And it goes out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Guy, side of the guy kicking of old. He's been bothered by a bad back, but hit that one and hung it beautifully.
Guys, had his problems this year, Dick, but that's his 13th punt. 12 of them have gone out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
And that one 48 yards inside the 10-yard line. An almost block. Good pressure by the Chargers.
Coming from the outside, Pete Holohan right there, number 88, diving across, almost touched that football. But what a great weapon guy has been over the years. A lot of people not understanding the pain he's played in during this season.
Muncy out to the 13-yard line. Good pickup on first down. Howie Long, the tackler.
Tackle by number 75.
Dan Fouts. Really an interesting man, and a background that has been football. As his father, not many broadcasters produce sons that are good athletes in this manner. Bob Fouts was the 49er announcer for many years. Dan Fouts grew up around the 49ers. Muncy, nothing there at the 14-yard line except Reuben Vaughn, 99, and Rod Martin, 53. Fouts then idolized John Brody. He was the ball boy at Kezar Stadium when the 49ers played there. Went on to Oregon. Oregon didn't have really a pass-oriented team, and a lot of folks overlooked Fouts as a pro quarterback. He wasn't picked until the 3rd round by the Chargers. And now he's about to break John Hadle's all-time Charger passing record.
That should happen today.
Wide open, Winslow. And he carries Mike Davis 5 yards out to the 26.
Part of Fouts' success, certainly his amazing ability to read and throw the football. But part of his success, too, in the extraordinary offensive tools that have been assembled here. One of them, number 80, Kellen Winslow. Out there in the open, Mike Davis trying to drag the big tight end down. That's no easy task.
First down, Muncy to about the 30. Call it a 3-yard gain. Hendricks spearheaded the Raider defensive charge, and we're down to 2:15 left in this first half.
Dick, the difference in this first half, the ability of the Raiders to run the football. The Chargers have not been able to develop a consistent running game. Allows the Raiders to tee off more aggressively on the pass, put more pressure on Fouts, whereas the San Diego defense has had to stay with the running and the passing game both.
2-minute warning. Diego, where the Raiders lead the Chargers 10-3. San Diego owns the football at its 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 with 2 minutes left in this first half. The Chargers have won 5 in a row since losing in Los Angeles 28-24. Their other defeat at Kansas City 19-12. The Raiders winning 7, losing 1. The only loss to Cincinnati 31-17.
2 wide receivers to the left. Lester Hayes runs all the way over to cover one of them.
Wes Chandler, first down, Raider 49. Ted Watts made the tackle.
What great communication between a quarterback and the wide receiver. That ball is in the air already. The ball thrown to the inside and low enough. Wes Chandler gets his eyes on it. Great concentration. Goes down and scoops it out. Fouts back quickly, just sets up and fires. Boy, that's so tough to cover. Just almost impossible.
On first down, Fouts going for the bundle. Chandler. And Watts is saying
interference.
It could be.
Yeah.
No, they're calling it against the Raiders.
Oh-ho.
Oh-ho. It certainly looked as if Watts had a case that it was Chandler who pushed off.
Well, we certainly saw Chandler push off, but it's possible that he got pushed just before that. Before we make a judgment on that, we ought to give the officials a chance and perhaps look at the replay. Watts is furious, just absolutely furious. And look at it, give you a chance to see it at home. Chandler running wide open, and Fouts just lofts the ball up. Watts running with him with good speed. Now let's see where the contact is. It's a push from the right hand.
Watts didn't touch him.
Oh boy. Well,
that's a gift of 43 yards for San Diego. Muncy to the 2. 43-yard penalty as Wes Chandler used the push, and he was rewarded for it.
Watch the right hand. Chandler's right hand in the middle of the back just shoves Watts away. The official, who was on the back side, unable to tell who caused the contact.
It's a blatant miss, though.
Boy, I'll tell you, it sure is.
Clock running down. San Diego with a chance to tie the game. Looking for Muncy. He's covered. Severs. Is that a touchdown or not? They have it. No. Incomplete. And now Fouts is angry.
It appeared that Severs had the ball momentarily in the end zone, and Fouts said all he's got to do is control it, and it's a touchdown. And that's true. The officials didn't seem to believe it. Give you a chance to see it. Fouts back, just rifles this ball into the inside. Look, he's probably looked at 5 receivers by then. Into the hands of Severs. He did have it momentarily knocked away. We're seeing that in slow motion, but I would believe that he had possession and it should have been a touchdown.
3rd and goal, 30 seconds left, and Muncy's not going to make it. It's 4th and goal as the Raiders defense once again tough down by the goal line.
Now, interesting call for Don Coryell. He'll take a timeout, talk it over here on the sideline. But will they go for it, or will they kick the field goal?
Well, that's the risk with a team, Merlin, that scores so easily. They've scored 44 last week, then 50 the week before, 41 the week before that. 3 points is like something they throw away. They're thinking 7 all the time. There, the rushing defense, Raiders best in the NFL as the Chargers are down by the goal line. National Football League, and his usual quality work from my partner Merlin Olsen. Bernershka tees it up for a 20-yard field goal try if Ed Luther is the holder, the backup quarterback. Oh, and he missed it. He missed what was no more than an extra point. That was teed up at the 2-yard line, or the line of scrimmage was the 2.
And just from the look of Ed Luther, I think perhaps it was a bad hold. He had his head down. Let's see if he gets it down properly. Has got his, looked like he may have pinched that ball, keeping it from coming out. Had his hand on the ball. Now the man who holds it has got to let the foot swing free under it. Looked like he had a pressure on that ball, caused it to hook. And the reaction? Rolf Bernershka is not going to blame his holder, though. Got too much quality for that.
Well, in essence, Merlin, it is poetic justice because the 43-yard penalty appeared to be a gift and got them down in that close field goal range anyway, and then the miss to the left. Can't tell that to Coryell. These are ardent San Diego fans.
Can't tell it to Bernershka, and of course you can't tell it to Fouts, who believed that Severs had the ball in the end zone and that they should have had a touchdown.
So it remains a Raider lead of 10-3. And that in itself is an upset that we've seen just 13 points in this first half. Ball comes out to the 20-yard line on the missed field goal, and Don Coryell thinking about his halftime verbalization. On the ground to King. Cliff Branch just stood out there. If he'd have thrown a block, that might have been a pretty good game. Cliff said he didn't figure that you'd get out there so quickly. That's the end of the half. He was eating his lunch. So the Los Los Angeles Raiders after Bernerska kicked a short field goal to take a 3-0 lead for San Diego. Barr, a 22-yard field goal, and then a Plunkett to Hawkins 2-yard touchdown pass made it 10-3. The star, as it has been most of this year for the Raiders, the rookie Marcus Allen.
And the other development this first very strong performance by the Raider defense to limit San Diego's output.
So the end of the first half in San Diego, 10-3 Raiders.
Thank you, Dick Enberg, Len Berman, along with Mike Adamle, Pete Axthelm, Ahmad Rashad. It is a day for playoff clinching and developments. And, of course, depending on the outcome of the Raiders-San Diego game, all the playoff positions are set. We know which 8 teams now. Cleveland's in, New England's in. We just don't know who plays where and which day. And we'll sort out a lot of that in a little bit in a couple of minutes. But let me show you some of the key plays that happened around the National Football League today as the New England Patriots, as we said, clinched in Foxborough, and Cleveland backed in. But despite the clinching, not a whole lot of people showed up. Although the Patriots made the big comeback. Mike Haynes helped out. Interception. One of the veterans supposedly who wants to be traded. I'm not sure if that's true, but the Patriots won it anyway. The Jets treated rudely in Kansas City before just 11,000 people. Howard's interception flipped it to Gary Green. He went on. The Jets will play in Cincinnati. Kansas City won it 37-13. The Giants send Ray Perkins down to Alabama in fine fashion. Joe Danello's field goal with 6 seconds left. The Giants' playoff hopes are alive, just barely. St. Louis will be the #1 seed, but Mark Mosley will start a new field goal streak. His streak ends at 23 after missing from 40. Cleveland has the punt blocked by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Cleveland head to the playoffs. Pittsburgh won it 37-21. Cincinnati knocked off Houston 35-27. The bomb, great catch, one-handed by Isaac Curtis. Cincinnati's the #3 seed now. Tampa Bay makes the playoffs. 33-yard field goal, won it in overtime by Bill Capece. And Miami and Baltimore. Miami will host the game. They'll either be seed #1 or seed #2. David Woodley to Jimmy Cefalo. 34-7 the final there as Baltimore finishes their season without a win. Pete Axthelm, your thoughts?
You know, Len, somebody has handed me a highlight picture thing to do. You were supposed to do the highlights around here. I was trying to figure out why, and I think I figured it out. This is about fat guys I'm supposed to read.
Oh, okay. All right. What happened to him?
A couple of big plays today by big guys. They're not really fat. They're just very big. But here's the first one, because I might have to meet these guys on the road in the playoffs. Doug Williams goes back, gets sacked. Steve McMichael of the Bears picks it up. Here he goes, lumbering down the field. Spotted Doug about 20 yards, but I'm afraid it wasn't enough. This guy, he runs like I do in the morning. We're trying to get a calf. Williams catches him in behind. The Bucks go on to win the game. Cincinnati's Ken Anderson gets sacked here by Mike Stensrud of Houston. Jesse Baker picks it up. Another member of the Axthelm School of Broken Field running. Look at him handle that ball with one hand. But here comes Mike Moonpie Wilson from behind for the Bengals. Makes the tackle coming down. What does this all mean to me? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe they're trying to tell me it's the year of the fat guy. Maybe they're trying to tell me I better read highlights because I'm not doing so well in my picks.
No.
Maybe it's the year of the fat handicap.
That's it. Okay. Thank you. And we'll be back with all the scores and some more highlights right after these words from your local station.
Certainly is, and they've gotten to him several times and have pressured him a great deal besides that. First half stats, as you take a look at them on down, Raiders leading in first downs, certainly in rushing yardage, total yardage, passing dead even between the two quarterbacks. No turnovers, time of possession definitely favoring the Raiders, and again, that's a function of the running game.
One other statistic not on their penalties, 63 yards in penalties for the Raiders, 6 yards for the Chargers. San Diego will get the ball first to open this second half. Barr kicks it off, and Brooks waits at the other end. At the 6. He's got running room. 30, 45, 47-yard line. Well set up kickoff return for James Brooks.
In the locker room, I'm sure Don Coryell couldn't have done a better job of calling this play. This is exactly like he wanted it to start. Barr, the kicker down there, Brooks runs right through his arms. Watch the kicker trying to do his best, but unable to slow Brooks down very much.
Fouts comes out throwing, intercepted. Mike Davis, he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Mike Davis, a man who foiled Fouts on that play, and Fouts appears to be okay, goes 59 yards. Davis, the hero in the Super Bowl year 2 seasons ago when he intercepted Brian Sipe in that critical moment in Cleveland, and he gives the Raiders a big boost with this play.
And how very quickly the worm turns. Big play. Kellen Winslow, looks like Kellen Winslow misread that pass. He was coming inside, the pass headed outside. Just a great play by Mike Davis as he packs the leather into the end zone, puts 6 points on the board for the Oakland Raiders, for the Los Angeles Raiders.
His first interception this year goes 56 yards for a touchdown. Flag down before the kick. Well, it's like that young man Montgomery yesterday for UCLA. He had 2 interceptions all year and 2 touchdowns.
Start, number 60.
Davis is 1 for 1 this year, a touchdown. Kurt Marsh moving before the snap, so the kick for Barr will be 5 yards longer. Well, that's a tough, emotional situation to overcome. You can just feel it in the crowd. They came out excited for their team here in San Diego, and all of a sudden it goes from 10-3 to possibly 17-3.
Not only Davis's first of the year, but his first touchdown ever on an interception, and boy, it couldn't have come at a bigger time for these Raiders.
And Barr's kick is true, and the Los Angeles Raiders in 22 seconds on defense get 7 points and build a 17-3 lead.
2 real emotional downers, coming away without points when they got the big break just before the half, and now an instant turnaround after it appeared that they were off and running with a great return. The Raiders pack it into the end zone. Let's go and look at that touchdown one more time. You'll notice that Winslow is leaning back to the inside, appeared to believe that that ball was going to be thrown inside. You'll see him on this pass from Fouts. Davis reads the ball all the way. Winslow's momentum carrying him inside. Looks like the ball may have been thrown behind him. And of course, Mike Davis taking full advantage of his opportunity. Fouts got an arm on Davis. Looked like he was shaken up, maybe just angry that he had thrown the interception.
Now Mike Davis clear sailing for the score. And the Chargers now will get it back. So this high-scoring San Diego team will have to plug in the offense. They're down by 2 touchdowns. Brooks back. Returned the kickoff to start the second half in brilliant fashion, 43 yards. That one's going to go out of bounds. Did it go into the end zone or out of the 1?
They bring it out to the 20. Boy, that was dangerous to let that ball bounce around. That's a live football. Raiders getting close to it. Bauer says, wait a minute. You can't say that. Went out of bounds. Chance for you to see it. Ball coming down. A nice, high, strong kick. Very close to the line. Up a second time and right over the top of the, that was actually the second bounce. Went right over the top of the flag in the corner. The official right on top of it. Watch it now. All right, good job, guys. Even got it on the angle of the kicker.
So San Diego denied the kickoff return. Will begin from the 20-yard line, and Muncy carries the football. Boy, ran right through a tackler. Knocked, I believe it was Lester Hayes, out of bounds.
I think that's Otis McKinney, 23, that came up. You want to see a defensive back just get run over here. Kellen Winslow trying to get even with Davis on the outside, and McKinney just leveled by Muncy. Ooh. Watch McKinney here. He comes up, tries to take it. Muncy just drops his shoulder on him and knocks him clear out of bounds.
Muncy about 30 pounds heavier than McKinney, who's 190. Second and short, and against the toughest rushing defense in the NFL, Muncy wedging close to a first down. Matt Millen and Rod Martin, the tacklers. 53 Martin has been named the NFL Man of the Year for the Raiders for his work not only as an athlete but his civic and community mindedness. And for San Diego, that honor this year went to Rolf Bernerska.
The two names you mentioned are one of the reasons that these Raiders are so tough to run against up inside. Millen is 260 pounds, a virtual defensive lineman playing linebacker, and Martin extremely quick and agile in the inside.
First down play. Fouts almost intercepted again as Burgess Owens had that one hop by him. It'd be either Muncie or Winslow, the intended receiver.
Dick, in our opening, we talked about Fouts and his importance to this San Diego Charger team. If you can get to Fouts, if you can throw his timing off, you can beat the San Diego Chargers. And it would appear that the pressure that Oakland has generated has certainly disrupted Fouts' momentum and his rhythm.
7 for 16. Throws that one away. Chandler well covered by Lester Hayes. Tom Flores. Defense. They match up well against San Diego, don't they?
They certainly do. They're able to get pressure on the quarterback, and they're able to do it up the middle. They're strong enough inside to get those hands and bodies in Dan Fouts' face. You can't pressure Fouts from the outside. He stays too close to the line. But if you can crack the pocket, you can cause him trouble.
Dwight Scales, a fourth receiver, is in. And Fouts is sacked for the third time. Ted Hendricks has another. Also in was Johnny Robinson, 68.
Watch from the right side of your screen. An all-out blitz inside now. Hendricks will be coming in right now. Left side of your screen, excuse me. Number 83, Ted the Stork Hendricks sacks him again. 36 sacks for the Los Angeles Raiders.
+3 today. So Greg Pruitt will drift back, anticipating the punt from Maury Buford. And the Raider defense has shut down the Chargers in a unbelievable manner. Beautiful kick to the 27, 35, and down at the 42-yard line. Return of about 15 yards before John Capoletti could make the tackle. 50-yard kicks. We have a break. From San Diego, today's game is brought to you by Budweiser Light, with a clean, distinctive taste worthy of the king of beers. By Owens Corning Fiberglass Corporation, makers of Owens Corning's pink fiberglass insulation. And by Hertz, the car rental company that's #1 for everyone. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen in San Diego. 13 minutes left in the third quarter. The Los Angeles Raiders with a 2-touchdown lead against a team that has been averaging 36.5 points a game since the strike and held to a field goal today.
We saw Kenny King's statistics. He's also a very fine blocker.
Looking for Branch and finds Barnwell all the way to the 30-yard line of the Chargers. They sent Branch deep, double coverage, and then Barnwell, a little delay underneath.
Jim Plunkett taking advantage of the strength of his running game. A little fake inside to Kenny King. Back and with all kinds of time to throw the football. Finds Barnwell in the open. You can't give a quarterback that much time. You can't give a receiver that kind of an opening. King coming to the inside. He's the outlet man. If no one else is open, he gets the quick one over the center.
From the 31, deflected by Woody Lowe. That's twice that Lowe, the linebacker from Alabama, has been able to knock away a Plunkett pass today.
San Diego defense 28th in the, or 27th in the NFL against the pass. They've given up a lot of yardage, but part of their philosophy is that we'll bend and not break. Unfortunately, they've been bent a little too far in this one so far.
12:21 left, third quarter. Branch still catches it and has a first down at the 20.
Now complete.
Jim Plunkett listened to the crowd to figure that one out. Threw it on the way down. Cliff Branch going back to fight for the football will take it away from two Charger defenders. 49 Andre Young there, 29 Mike Williams. That's almost a replay of a shot we saw with Chandler earlier where two Raider defenders knocked each other off. Look at Plunkett getting it off as he is smashed on the inside. Fine play. 29
Mike Williams injured on the play, being attended to. 12:01 left in the third quarter. Raiders looking to advance their lead. Mike Williams able to jog off the field under his own power. He's okay. Replaced for the moment by Willie Buchanan, the veteran corner. And for the Los Angeles Raiders, leading 17, a first down at the Charger 20. Marcus Allen gains about 6 to the 14-yard line before Leroy Jones can drag him down.
Some good blocking on that play, Dick, but some even better running. It looked like there was not going to be an opening to the outside as Marcus Allen came out. Good pursuit from the inside by San Diego, but watch him. He'll just select a hole and then accelerate right there. Just almost leapt through that hole. That's the kind of running that has made him such a potent force for these Los Angeles Raiders.
Hawkins, he does not get the first down. He was the touchdown man in the first half when they faked Allen and threw him the little 2-yard pass for the score. Again, to repeat the situation. If the Chargers win, they stay at home in the first round of the playoffs and would host New England. If they lose, they go to Pittsburgh next week. The Raiders, if they win or lose, will be home. If they win next week, the Raiders would get Cleveland. If they lose next week, they host Pittsburgh. Allen. Bruce Laird, number 30, made the play. Oh, the Charger defense denies.
That's the kind of play that Bruce Laird was brought here to make. A very aggressive and physical defensive back, up quickly on the force, makes a great one-on-one tackle on Marcus Allen.
6th-round draft pick of the Colts out of American International. Laird does his job, so now Chris Barr. His alma mater, Penn State, with a big victory against Georgia last night in the Sugar Bowl, apparently the national champions. Barr, a 32-yard attempt. Spins it through and adds 3 to the Raider total. And with 9:39 left in the third quarter, a big Raider lead. The Raiders with 20 unanswered points after San Diego took the early lead on a short Benerska field goal. Barr to kick it off. Brooks has returned 34 and 43 yards today. So they spin this one short. Hank Bauer at 20. And Bauer down at the 25-yard line. Eric Jensen made the tackle. First down, Chargers in need of some points. Ernell Durden, assistant coach under Don Coryell.
Had a chance to watch his son Mike Durden, cornerback for UCLA, and their big victory last night over Michigan in the Rose Bowl. I'm sure that Ernell spent an evening celebrating with his family after the way his son played in that game.
Pete Holohan and Eric Sievers, double tight ends with Chandler out to the right, and Sievers in motion. Bouts to Chandler. Out of bounds, but a flag is down. At the 44-yard line is where Chandler stepped out of bounds. Kellen Winslow apparently blocked in the face, and he's being attended to. Those are valuable legs that we see there.
Never like to see those legs up in the air like that either. So
they'll tack on 15 more yards against the Raiders. So Los Angeles, with a win, will have the best record in the AFC. And one thing they statistically are going to win this year, most penalty yards.
Bounced back very quickly. Able to find Winslow on the outside, or not Winslow, but Chandler all alone on the outside. That's about as open as we've seen a Charger receiver all day long.
The penalty was not on Owens. It was something that happened around the line of scrimmage. 15 yards, makes it 78 now for the Raiders. First down, San Diego at the Los Angeles 29. Muncie, Matt Millen was the man who slowed the play down and still made the tackle. A double effort by Millen, number 55.
Muncie did a good job of getting out of the first grasp, but just could not find any room up inside. The Raiders playing very aggressive team defense, converging on the football. And that's the way you have to do it against a big back like Muncie. Takes more than one to bring him down normally.
Chandler over 100 yards receiving, and needs just a handful more to have 1,000 for this shortened season. He's to the left, and Sievers in motion. Flags are down. Chandler, touchdown. Yes.
Chandler went right into the goalpost.
He appears to be knocked out after running into the goalpost. The flag is against the Raiders. It's a touchdown, but maybe a costly one.
They don't want to move him. They are concerned about what he may have done when he hit that pole. His concentration so thorough on the ball that he did not see the goalpost. The goalpost is padded, but still delivered quite a blow to Chandler. They roll him over quite carefully. It looks like he may be moving a little bit.
Wes Chandler, a brilliant performer all season long. Another great catch on this play. 25 yards. How the ball even got to him is to be marveled. Right through, deflected. He still caught it. Oh, then he was pushed. Watts. Ooh. Oh, it wasn't he wasn't knocked out so much as he was twisted.
Yeah, watch his body torque around that. Just twisted his back as he rolled into that.
Chandler with that catch, and now the statistic certainly not as important as the condition of this man. It just marks how valuable he's been. 1,019 yards in a season that has 8 games and a half. Coryell angry, and so are a lot of fans that Watts didn't go. Well, he could have been a little easier on Chandler after the touchdown.
Watts has no business making a tackle or pushing a receiver when he's 5 yards deep in the end zone. I don't blame Coryell for being angry. Yeah. Difficult, though, at times I know a young defensive back not that conscious of the field, but not good football. Look how far he is into the end zone. 5 yards deep in the end zone. You can't tell me that Watts doesn't know he's in the end zone. That's wrong. That's not good football.
And Chandler again showing his amazing concentration, Merlin. That ball was deflected. We saw it in San Francisco. He never loses sight of the flight of the ball. Let's see how this inspires the Chargers as Benirska kicks the extra point, and San Diego back in the game.
We talked about bad blood. We're going to see more of it before it's over, Dick.
Wes Chandler, another big day, over 100 yards, 25 on the touchdown. The lead is cut to 10. A penalty was assessed. The Raiders watch for the foul in the end zone, so Benirska kicks off from the 50. See if he goes for the onside kick. The ball was touched. And Hank Bauer makes the tackle of Montgomery at the 12-yard line. And yes, there's some bad blood, all right. And a flag is down. I believe the Chargers were guilty of jumping on Montgomery.
You don't want to make a dumb mistake. You don't want to get yourself in trouble with penalties. Dick, it could have been, there was a flag on the line of scrimmage on that play to Chandler. That might have been the penalty that they marched off. That could have been a personal foul.
There's another one against someone. And that was for unsportsmanlike conduct from one of the players. We don't know which side.
Hank Bauer, I believe. Telcher goes over and grabs him by the arm and says, hey, we don't need that. Off the field.
Well, let's hear Mr. Tunney's report.
Personal foul, number 37, San Diego. Number 28, and he is disqualified. Number 28 disqualified. Offsetting fouls.
Cleo Montgomery apparently said something he shouldn't have and has been kicked out of the game. So the Raiders, after the personal foul, and Montgomery was the man fouled, he apparently in his anger took it out on Tunney, and Tunney has kicked him out of the game. That seems a bit unfair when you get pounced upon.
There's Cleo Montgomery on the sideline. Tunney over to explain to coaches on the sideline what the problem is, and he sends his quarterback into the game. Let's see if we can pick up what happened on that play. Hard to see. Right there he is right at the bottom. Bauer is the man that's on top of him. Another angle. Bauer ends up making the tackle. Two of them stacked up together.
Oh, he's in late.
All right, keep it going. Let's see what happened in there. Something happened.
Oh, he wants
a piece of him, doesn't he? So I think he kicked him. I think he kicked him right there. I think it was a foot. Look at Bauer looking up and saying, what the heck's going on here? I think he kicked him in the head or stepped on him. We'll save that and show it again if we can, because I think right at the end of that, I think you saw a foot come down in there.
Well, we know that no penalty yardage marked off, offsetting fouls, but the Raiders are without Montgomery, their kick returner, and now listen to this crowd come into the game. Oh my, Louis Kelchner. Let's go back to the kick return. Montgomery trying to get up. Bauer takes him down.
Look at the foot now, right there. The foot on the head. You saw it come up. That's where the first penalty dropped. And then when Bauer got angry and started talking a little too loud, he's penalized later. Look at Bauer right here. It's Bauer talking to Tunney that draws the second penalty.
Marcus Allen. He's to the 18. Woody Lowe made the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 4. And the Charger fans want the defense to stop the Raiders, get the ball back. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington, D.C.
Midway through the 3rd quarter in San Diego, the Raiders lead the Chargers 20-10. It has been an emotional game, bad feelings. The Chargers have just scored and trying to hold the Raiders deep in their own end. Christensen, incomplete. Tim Fox and Bruce Laird broke up the pass, and the Raiders have to kick.
defenders colliding on that, and Fox was shaken up, had to leave the game. But that's a real sandwich as they put Todd Christensen between them and timed it out perfectly to arrive with the ball. Dick, I've been looking down on the sideline, and they're really working over Kellen Winslow. I know Chandler is up and moving and apparently all right, but Winslow, we told you, had been knocked out and sent to the sideline. They're still concerned about him. He does not appear to have his senses together down there.
Hit in the jaw was the report we received. Guy to kick. Brooks at the San Diego 36. Flag down. And they may have gone beyond the 30 seconds. Flags all over the field, in fact. Five more yards against the Raiders. And the word now from the San Diego bench is Winslow, suffering a concussion, probably will not return. Chandler is okay, amazingly. The human form, what a machine it is when well conditioned. Chandler wrapped around the goalpost like a car around a light pole and gets up and will return. We didn't see and do not know how the tight end Winslow was hurt. Short, fair catch. Oh, they fought over it. And it finally, between Gregor, 43, and Brooks, 21, Brooks has it at the Raider 46-yard line. 33 yards on the kick. We have 6:49 remaining in the third quarter. Merlin Olsen, we were talking about the amazing recuperative power of the pro athlete. Kellen Winslow, we just got a report from the sidelines, probably wouldn't play today. Here he is back in the lineup.
I don't think they could keep him out of the lineup. I think he said, hey, I'm going back in there.
Trailing 20-10. Fouts goes to work. Intercepted and then lost. It was through the hands of the Raiders and almost deflected back to Burgess Owens. And again, the Raiders' good coverage.
And good pressure on Fouts. And you can almost sense Fouts' frustration as he is being pushed around in that pocket. Joyner, number 18, the man that's cutting across, the intended receiver. The big number 83, Ted Hendricks, bats that ball. Burgess Owens, number 44, almost had a chance at it.
6:44 left, third quarter. Muncy. Breaking tackle. What a run by Muncy.
Muncy running through an arm tackle there. You cannot bring him down with an arm. Runs through a second tackle by Davis there and literally runs over a third man. Kellen Winslow, we told you he was suffering from a concussion. He still wants a piece of him down there. Down blocking, screening his man off on that.
15-yard gain. First down play. Muncy again. Ran over his own man and picked up about 6. Doug Wilkerson, number 63, Pro Bowler from North Carolina Central, led him around the corner.
Don Coryell feeling much better about the emotional state of his troops. Dick, one thing I think you're going to see, we may not see it, but the films of this game, I guarantee you, will end up in the commissioner's office being reviewed because there have been some shots out there that weren't by the book, believe me.
Chandler to the right, Joyner to the left, 2nd and 4. Capoletti, first down at the 20. Capoletti, rarely used, up the middle for 5 yards.
And perhaps that emotional surge enough to allow for a running game to begin to be generated by these San Diego Chargers. The difference in the first half, a great deal of it attributed to their inability to run and the ability of the Raiders to run. It would appear that they've got the running game going here in the third quarter.
4:45 left in the period. Muncy. like a runaway truck. Chuck Muncie sacrificing his body. He's slow getting up.
He literally ran over and through people on that play. Muncie, I can tell you from experience, when he gets his feet up to the outside, is almost impossible to bring down. You see him again running through one tackle and hit very hard there twice. Second by Burgess Owen, spun him around to the ground. He is still down on the far sideline. There's the first tackle he runs through. Able to break away from that one. Johnny Robinson, 68, the man that tried to get him first.
Merlin, it'll be interesting in the post-game report, and wish we could go down now and talk to Winslow how he was hurt, because it was after that injury that the Chargers were awakened. They started to play a totally different physical game.
Hard to tell, Dick, and it would not surprise me if there was something going on with Muncie, because there was obviously a lot of anger and frustration began to generate, or certainly appeared to generate out of that incident. But
the Chargers now are just 7 yards away from pulling within 3. 4-16. What a quarter this has been. Big men not only playing hard, but viciously.
Interesting to see the dramatic changes in emotion on the field between these two teams, and the crowd definitely quiet at the first of this period, and now almost insane.
James Brooks to the 5, or it'll be 2nd and goal. Alzado and Long in on the tackle, and now it's Alzado that has to be pulled off the pile.
In on the tackle, number 77, Lionel Alzado.
Referee giving Alzado a little information there.
Pat Harder, he knows about hard-nosed football.
He knows about life in the pits. He sure does.
James Brooks, a sure touchdown. And Fouts had to drill it. Went right through his fingertips and off his chest.
Winslow on the ground again on that play. Let's look at Brooks in isolation. He's wide open, beat the linebacker cleanly, and just drops the football. Martin there, he turned Martin around, the ball right in his chest. We'll see it here. Boy, that's the kind you cannot afford to give away. Right in the stomach. Martin almost had a chance at it as it bounced out. Winslow is hurt. He's come to the sideline again.
Big play for both teams. And Fouts not going to take a chance, calls time. Here's an opportunity where the Chargers don't want 3, they want 7. They've built some momentum. They have the crowd back into the game. They want a touchdown. As you look at the comparison of the two pitchers today, Plunkett for the Raiders, 116 yards. They've each completed 9 passes. Actually, Fouts statistically, at least in completion percentage, having lesser of a day.
But coming out of 3 blazing hot games, Fouts has not been on his rhythm today, has not thrown with the confidence and the accuracy that we have seen him throw with over the last 3 weeks.
Just a review for those of you joining us. We're at 3:43 remaining in the 3rd quarter after San Diego scored first on a short field goal. The Raiders had a field goal and a touchdown and were sparked to a 10-3 lead in the first half by some excellent running by Marcus Allen. Then on the first play of the second half, Mike Davis returned interception, 56 yards for a touchdown to make it 17-3. Raider field goal, 23, and then it became the Charger story. We'll give you more on that later. Right now we go from San Diego back to NFL 82 in New York.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. Len Berman in New York. And let's check out what's going on in the Kingdome. Mark Herman for Denver. He takes the snap on the shotgun, charges straight ahead like a bull. Does he get in? Yes. Touchdown for Denver. They now lead Seattle 9-3. Dick?
Thank you, Len Berman. As this playoff puzzle begins to be placed, and we'll be going back to you to try to help us out. Big call, 3rd and goal at the 5. Winslow's back in. You see 80 Winslow on the left side.
What in the world is going on? One of the Raiders removing the ball. It must have been some foreign substance on the ball. Dick, one of the problems the Chargers have had in this game is their inability to convert on third down. 3 of 8 so far. This is the most crucial so far in the game for them.
Flag down. And a good defensive play by Otis McKinney to knock it away from James Brooks. Now the flag.
Penalty on holding against the Chargers.
And the Raiders will undoubtedly decline that and force San Diego to go for the field goal.
No purpose in giving Fouts another shot at the touchdown. Would they possibly choose to go for a touchdown from this far out?
5-yard line. Andre Young being carted off. An injured Charger defensive back. Boy, it has been this quarter has been the hardest hitting we've seen all season long. Billy Shields guilty of the hold. With the score 20-10, a field goal would draw the Chargers within 7. But certainly, again, this takes a little of that emotional edge away from the home team. They'd really built it up to a fervor.
And that was such an emotional drive for the Chargers. 8 passes and 5 runs, and the runs certainly the big part of the drive. 3 of them by Muncy, who physically just carried a good part of that Raider team downfield with him.
23 yards for Benerska is good, but that isn't a happy statistic when you kick field goals of 27 and 23 yards. That means the other team has stopped you inside the 10. Breaking the action, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. A 20-13 game. Now the other scores around the National Football League in this final game of the regular season. New England beating Buffalo. The Patriots are in the playoffs. Kansas City upsets the Jets. Giants came from behind at Philadelphia to win. Washington finishes 8-1, shuts out the Cardinals. Pittsburgh beats Cleveland. Both those teams are in the playoffs. Cincinnati, one of the best records in football, they're in. Tampa Bay in overtime eliminated Chicago after the Bears had a big lead. Miami breezed at Baltimore. San Francisco at the half leading the Rams 20-7. And Detroit has a field goal lead in the third quarter, still with hopes of getting in the playoffs. Denver, just reported by NFL 82, the lead at the Kingdome. New Orleans, they still perhaps have hopes. Hard to tell now with what has happened late. 14-6 against Atlanta. Now, 8 teams battle in the AFC Super Bowl tournament. And, of course, NBC, your Super Bowl station, going to get interesting next Saturday and Sunday. We hope you'll follow all the action. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. We'll be televising 2 games on Saturday and 2 more on Sunday. Now, as far as these 2 teams are concerned, the Raiders will be at home if they win against New England. If they lose against Pittsburgh, we'll give you a San Diego story. High and short by Benerska and out of bounds. Check that. Cleveland will be at Los Angeles if the Raiders win. Pittsburgh will be at Los Angeles if the Raiders lose. San Diego, if they win, will host New England. If they lose, they go to Pittsburgh. So you know those folks watching in Pittsburgh are rooting for a Raider win so that they would have the home field advantage. Boy, some interesting matchups. We do know for certain, regardless of this game, that the Jets will be playing at Cincinnati. First round.
Richard Todd against Anderson, Kenny Anderson.
So
another classic matchup of great pitchers.
Yeah, we're going to have it all for you on NBC. Benerska after the 5-yard penalty. Kenny Hill for Clee Montgomery, and Hill is down, fumbled, and the Raiders have it at the 20-yard line. Now, Cleo Montgomery being ejected from the game. Hill replaced Montgomery and lost the football.
Pete Callahan, number 88, the man in there to scoop up that ball. It looked like Hill was just trying to get a couple of extra yards. Now watch him here. He gets pinned to the sideline. A couple of Chargers get him stacked up. The ball pops loose, stripped loose right there. 52. And Preston, Rob Preston, the man that stripped that ball loose, and Hallahan alertly scooped it up.
A break for the Chargers. Have a chance to tie it. It's Muncy on a screen. All the way to the 4-yard line.
No, and
the ball was ruled dead. No fumble. Archie Reese wound up with the ball, but they ruled it dead at the 3.
Muncy went looking for people to run over. Smart call by the Chargers. Little screen pass there. Muncy comes in. Wilkerson gets a good block, and look at him. He just lined up on Watts and nailed it.
I think Muncy thought it was a fumble. The way he reacted, it looked as if he thought he had fumbled. Not much there for Muncy. I wonder if we could go back to the play on Muncy's run. As the way he reacted after he lost the ball, he was going after it as if he thought that was going to be called a fumble.
Of course, for Muncy, he's awfully glad it wasn't, having achieved a reputation, a rather dubious one, of turning the ball over in critical situations. He didn't want to be the one charged with turning it over here.
The one San Diego turnover was an interception by the Raiders for a touchdown. Muncy, touchdown!
Muncy diving into the middle, runs right through the arms of number 55, Mac Millen. That certainly is no easy task. Chance to get into the backfield. Good blocking up front. Excellent blocking up front. One of those blocks by John Cappelletti, inside by Wilkerson, Masick, and the other guard on the inside.
The game is tied. So after falling behind 20-3 in this third quarter, the Chargers, perhaps angered by some intimidating physical play, have rallied, and with 1:52 left in the third quarter, have scored 17 straight points to tie the game. Muncy thanking his blockers.
They certainly have done a great deal. Shields on one side, Wilkerson, Masick, Ed White, Washington, all playing extremely well on that drive. 3 big runs by Muncy early, and then they allow Muncy to finish the honor as he takes it into the end zone after the turnover.
Well, now that the score's at 20, do you want the other possibility for the playoffs next week? If they tie, Pittsburgh would go to San Diego and Cleveland to Los Angeles. Are you confused yet?
That's like trying to find the end of a piece of spaghetti that's wound up in the inside with about 2,000 others, Dick.
Well, it's tied at 20, and it seems we have a long way to go in this one. Greg Pruitt at the 10. 25-27 for Pruitt. Now it's the Raiders who need to gather themselves. On January 15th, NBC Sports will bring you the Hula Bowl, showcasing senior talent college football. It'll be live from Honolulu in prime time. You'll see many of the great All-Americans this year, including Nebraska's Dave Remington, Eric Dickerson from SMU, Kurt Warner, the Penn State great running back, Dan Marino of Pittsburgh, Tom Ramsey, the UCLA quarterback. They'll be displaying their talents on NBC January 15th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Kenny King. Ooh. Dave Lewis made the tackle. A gain of, well, maybe none at all. No gain. David Lewis, acquired from the Buccaneers this year by Don Coryell. Played his football at USC.
You can almost see steam coming off those players. Tremendous emotion on the field. Leroy Jones also in on that play. Wilbur Young coming out to the outside. Some real smashing going on in that line of scrimmage.
Plunkett has had a good day. Christensen, a first down as he slams out to the 44-yard line. 17-yard gain. We're in the final minute of the third quarter, a tie game.
Plunkett able to wait for Todd Christensen to clear himself in front of the zone. Backs deep. Christensen coming across to the inside. You see how open he is. If you give Plunkett time and give the receivers time, no way they're going to be able to cover them with that zone defense.
44-yard line, Raider first down. Intended for Cliff Branch. That'll stop the clock with 9 seconds left. Mike Williams, the cover man for San Diego. And Merlin going back earlier in this quarter with a 20-3 lead, Tom Flores. It's a physical, intimidating team, and they may just have made a mistake. It's like the bully coming in and picking on the little guy and getting him mad and all of his friends mad. And they awakened the San Diego team when they had a 17-point lead.
Well, of course, you've got to realize that the way they got that lead was by playing physical football. And they're not about to change the kind of game they're playing. But they sure got their hands full now. They got an angry Tiger on the other side.
Great effort. The ball had been blown dead. No pass. Plunkett is sacked. That is the third Charger sack.
Pressure on Plunkett that time. A shot by Todd Christensen on Tim Fox. And of course, it's the pass to Christensen, but Plunkett clearly in the grasp of the defensive lineman. Ball had been blown dead. Little steam coming off that man's forehead right now, too.
He's the poster child again this year for intensity. And that is the end of the third quarter. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. In a battle for home playoff position, the Raiders and the Chargers are tied at 20 here in San Diego. The fourth quarter begins. Raiders third down 18 at their 36. Wide open is Marcus Allen. But he's smothered short of the first down at the 45-yard line. And here we go again.
The motion's running rather high. Dalby, number 50, ran in to pull one of the Chargers off. You'll see why here as Plunkett wants to get the ball into the hands of Marcus Allen. Allen in the short zone underneath. Lewis, number 53, 51, low, and watch the late hit by Fox right there, in on top. Dalby will come over now from the right-hand side and lift Fox right off the pile.
No penalty. And on 4th and 9, Raymond Guy to kick. James Brooks back at his 10-yard line. Spirals it toward the sidelines. Beautiful kick. Nope, it went into the end zone. Otis McKinney had a foot in the end zone when he touched the ball, knocking it back out.
Almost an extremely heady play, and what great accuracy from Ray Guy, who does not have the strength right now because of his back problem, but using his accuracy, putting this ball within inches of the corner of that end zone.
So San Diego will have the ball at the 20 with a score tied at 20. NFL game is San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. Tied at 20 are the Chargers and the Raiders. At the very start of our telecast, Merlin commented on the rivalry, the fact that these two teams don't like each other. They've certainly proven that point. Chuck Muncie outside at the 20, 30, and to the 34-yard line, and again he punishes the tackler.
Just sticking a shoulder in there. Again, showing you why he's such a feared runner. Muncy getting outside extremely rapidly, outrunning Ted Hendricks, number 83, and Muncy was stacked up pretty good on the sideline. You can see him grabbing his, I believe, his hand. He's had some hand trouble in the past. Watch him here, though, as he runs out of the grasp of number 83 Hendricks and just lowers his shoulder on Burgess Owens, number 44, in his double team as he hits the ground.
And they've called a personal foul on the Raiders, apparently for piling on. That'll take the ball all the way to midfield. Muncy with a good day, 103 yards rushing, and the title.
So foul, number 48, late hit, out of bounds.
Kenny Hill guilty of the foul.
You'll see it here. Muncy already out of bounds at that point, and they're stacking him out of bounds.
Well, considering some of the late hits we've seen, that was almost minor. At the 45-yard line. In fact, I thought Tim Fox's was much more flagrant the series before when the Raiders had the ball and Allen was hit late.
I think maybe you're right, Dick, but I'm sure that Jim Tunney is worrying about losing control of this game. And I think you'll see the calls made a little quicker in this last quarter.
At the 44-yard line, San Diego trying to break the tie. Muncy on the sidelines. The backfield now has James Brooks and John Cappelletti behind. Dan Fouts, who has become, of course, they misspelled John Adel, but John will forgive us for that. Brooks. He's to the Raider 35 and a first down. With over 27,000 yards now, career passing, Dan Fouts replacing John Hadel, who for many years starred as the quarterback here in San Diego. Now an assistant coach with the Los Angeles Rams. That's where he finished his pro career. Speaking of the Rams, they trail at San Francisco 20-14. Green Bay has taken the lead in Detroit. Denver has a 9-6 lead at Seattle. And New Orleans builds its lead against Atlanta. Well, the Falcons, a tough team to figure this year. They're in the playoffs. New Orleans hoping they can get there. Brooks. Oh, what a move. That's a Marcus Allen style move. James Brooks says, look at me. 8 yards. It's 2nd and 2.
Just a tremendous move on the inside by Brooks. Beautiful play. Bob Nelson, number 51, in quickly on him. Watch him just step over Nelson right there. Nelson's feet out from underneath him. Matt Millen cut down nicely with a block. And Brooks just lunging for the extra yardage. Good power, good quick running.
5'9", 177 pounds, Brooks from Auburn. Fouts pumping, going long for Winslow. He wanted the touchdown. Look at Millen bark at Winslow.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Winslow hot dogging. Put the ball down. Spun it in front of him. Millen came back and said, hey, hot dog, you'll get yours. Not the kind of time to have that kind of games going on. Beautiful pass. That's all you need. You put the results on the scoreboard. But watch Winslow. He'll stand up. If we keep, well, we'll get it later. We'll show you later. We'll show you what he did.
First and goal, San Diego at the 2-yard line in a 20-20 tie. 11 minutes plus remaining in the game. Muncy scores. A flag is down. Illegal use of the hand, San Diego. And that'll make it first and goal from the 12-yard line.
Not the kind of time to be doing anything questionable. As I said, these officials very conscious of the fact that they're very close to losing control of this game. They're going to be calling it very tightly.
Illegal use of the hands, pushing on the running play. Number 80, 10 yards.
Winslow.
First down.
Now Kellen Winslow losing his cool a bit. Now there is a professional pride and there is a code of ethics, and I guess everyone violates it one way or another. That's one of the codes. Penalties is another, just in demeanor. And Winslow guilty in both regards in the last 2 plays. Here he is, though. And just out of his reach as he was covered by Kenny Hill. And that was Fouts disappointed with himself. He knew he had a touchdown.
Winslow having a tremendous height advantage on Hill out there, and had Fouts been able to deliver that football a little more accurately, he would have had a touchdown. But again, Winslow, in his, I'm sure, reacting to his own frustration today, spun that football in front of the defender. He's been doing that recently. I think somebody better get him aside, pull him down, and say, hey, Kellen, play football. Don't play games.
2nd and goal from the 12. Dwight Scales is in the game, wide right, 3 receivers to the left.
Offside.
Howard Long is offside. Fouts goes through, and a beautiful defensive stop on the far side by Ted Watts as he knocked it away from Wes Chandler. Watts, a #1 draft pick a year ago by the Raiders from Texas Tech. Penalty against the Raiders, offside. Long, who anticipated the count and leaned forward offside.
Fouts, I'm sure, staggering his count, able to draw the eager lineman over the line and then break him for the 5-yard penalty. He gets half of it back.
Number 75, still 2nd down.
123 yards for the most penalized team in the NFL. No one really close to the Raiders this year. And yet, they've lost only 1 time. There really isn't a very strong correlation between most penalized or least penalized. Miami's the least penalized. Their record's no better than the Raiders. Muncy. Oh. He's running like a man tormented, just denying and defying. It's 3rd and goal from the 1. 109 yards for Muncy.
He's running through some pretty tough tacklers, too. Watch Muncy. Starts inside, senses there's no room there, does a good job of breaking it, but look at that blocking. Ed White, number 67, Washington, Masick, all doing a good job in there. Winslow finally ended up with Muncy right on his feet, and they're very close to goal line.
Raiders have been denying down deep. Not this time. So it has been a game of streaks. After leading 3-0, San Diego saw the Raiders score 20 unanswered points to lead 20-3 into this 3rd quarter. And now it's the Raiders. If Benerska's kick is good, he's going for 24 consecutive points by San Diego. And they lead 27-20.
John Cappelletti, number 25, playing fullback. Watch the block he delivers right here to open the way for dive by Chuck Muncy over the top. Put you right down in the action. Look out. Here comes Muncy into your living room.
These fans in San Diego are building a reputation of their own. It's become one of the most enthusiastic groups in all of the NFL.
And they've been a factor today, Dick.
Talk about that and their contribution and part of that whole home field that these teams are battling for. Hill. And he's smothered at the 13-yard line. Well, as a player, you always said you didn't hear the crowd, but kind of beat you did.
You can't ignore a crowd like this. Enthusiastic, just a force in this stadium, and it's intimidating to the team on the other side. They feel intimidated by it. The crowd roars at their mistakes and cheers at the good things San Diego does. The other thing that's interesting, Dick, this is almost an exact replay of the first game, except in the opposite direction. 2 games in 1 there, and almost the same thing here. The Raiders owned the last half of that game and have owned the first half. They'd like to get back into the second half here.
24 points scored by the Chargers after they were down 20-3. Christensen was the short man, and Branch was deep. The ball fell between them. Tonight on NBC, the Time Travelers duel with Spartacus in ancient Rome on Voyagers. Then on Chips, a robot. Well, will it make Punch obsolete? And O.J. Simpson stars as a private investigator out to bust a drug smuggling operation in Cocaine and Blue Eyes. That's all tonight on NBC.
Dick, reflecting on that earlier game, the Chargers were unstoppable in the first half of that game against the Los Angeles Raiders. The Raiders came back and just dominated them in the second half. It's going to be interesting to see if Plunkett can get his troops started here. If they can't get back into this game, the same thing will have happened to them.
Plunkett to Marcus Allen. Beautiful move again by Allen. And another all the way out to the 36-yard line before Mike Williams can ground him. 25 yards for Allen. So get it to your ace even though he's a first-year man.
Raiders unable to run in this second half. What do? They send their runner over the line, drop a quick one to him, and let him run in the secondary. And he knows how to carry that football. Beautiful gliding move, gets the extra yardage, gets them out of trouble. 36.5-yard line.
A Heisman Award winner, one of 3 that we're seeing in this game. John Cappelletti for the Chargers, Marcus Allen, and his quarterback Jim Plunkett, so honored as college football's best for the Raiders. First down, Kelcher chasing Plunkett. He says, I'm going to give it off to somebody else. It's Todd Christensen out to the 44-yard line. Woody Lowe made the tackle.
Well, you could hear Kelcher, I'm sure, if you were Plunkett. You didn't have to look for him.
You don't want to get covered up by that big 74. Plunkett doing a good job scrambling out of trouble, getting the ball to his tight end, Todd Christensen. Second, about 4 yards to go. Louis wearing himself down a little bit on that play. One of the problems of carrying the extra weight, especially if you've got bad knees, is that your durability, your ability to perform late in the game is hindered.
Second down between 3 and 4. Man wide open is Allen, and he finds him, can't catch the ball at the 47. Plunkett was a little late in picking up Allen, who was all alone, and then Mike Williams closed quickly to break up the play.
Ball thrown well. Allen actually had it in his hands, shaken loose by number 29, Mike Williams, who made a good defensive play. If you can't get there before the ball arrives to knock it away, you better shake it loose when you do get there. Very aggressive game, and that was a clean hit, but that's the kind of football you like to see. Bogosian on the sideline along with Tom Flores. I'm sure he's concerned about the turn this game has taken. Needs to get the big play on third down here.
Third down, call it a short 4. Good pressure. Plunkett ducks away and gets the first down to Marcus Allen at the 50-yard line. Thrift made the tackle.
You saw Plunkett doing something there that a good quarterback must do. Has to be able to feel the rush, feel the openings in the pocket, even under great pressure, and yet keep his concentration on his receivers. Plunkett able to do that, picked up the first down.
49ers leading the Rams 20-14 in the fourth quarter. Green Bay a 4-point lead against Detroit in the final period. Denver 11, Seattle 6 in a baseball score. New Orleans clobbering Atlanta 28-6 late. And here it's 27-20. The Raiders with the ball trailing San Diego. Christensen, is it a catch? No. Ball skidded in. He was open at the 40. Plunkett a little too low on the toss. Second and 10 at midfield for the Raiders.
After that very emotional play, the middle of the third quarter until that last series for this Charger defense, the pressure is now off Plunkett again. They're not getting the squeeze on him. They're giving him time to throw the football, and they can't afford to do that, Dick.
Second and 10. Going deep for Christensen. It's a great catch, and he's down to the 13-yard line. Bruce Laird made the tackle, and Plunkett dropped that one in there beautifully.
If you can't get pressure on the quarterback, you've got to go to the blitz. When you go to the blitz, you're going to get mismatches. You better get the quarterback. They didn't pick him up. Plunkett lost it over the top. But what a great play by Christensen, and what a tremendous effort by the defensive back, who was able to just get his hands on him, knock him down.
Marcus Allen, he gets tripped up over his own man. Well, he was out of the picture, but was not needed. So the Raiders looking for a tying touchdown in a 27-20 game. Now the first down at the Charger 13, and it's Marcus Allen, only a yard or two. So after a big first half, the Chargers have zeroed in on number 32 and have checked him well in the second half.
Number 48, Tim Fox, a very aggressive player, came very close to hitting late on that play. Better check his emotions a little bit. He's going to get him a penalty here late in this ball game.
Marcus Allen has 3 catches for 40 yards, and he needs 6 more yards on the ground for 100 today. He's in the top 10 in the NFL both in number of receptions and in rushing yards.
Let's see if the bend but don't break philosophy will work for Tom Bass's defense.
Allen in motion, fake to King, the throw to Christensen, and he stopped at the 2 and driven back by Fox. It's going to be very close to a first down. Tim Fox from Ohio State played his high school football, Canton, Ohio, Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was raised right in the area where football interest is so very high. Special spot for Merlin Olsen this past August. What a year it was for you. I don't know what you've got planned for 83, but I want to be along with you.
Better rev up the engines for 83, Dick. Well, I tell you, the engines are revving on the field. Raiders threatening here to put this ball game back into a lockup.
First and goal, 2-yard line. Plunkett is next, Fouts, and has actually bettered him on the statistical performance. Marcus Allen, that was a misfire right from the start. Now he's going to turn it into a touchdown. How about that? Oh, my.
You saw a similar play at the other end of the field earlier. Allen could see there was no room on the right side. Reverse, went back left. On that play, he was shut down. On this play, Marcus Allen turns a broken play into a touchdown. Some confusion there, either by quarterback or by Allen, but watch him come back. Now he sees there's no way outside. He just dips up and dives for the touchdown. What a great play.
He is just a superb player. It looked almost
I think
fumbled.
it was Plunkett. I think Plunkett made the wrong move. I don't think it was the rookie who made the mistake there.
He certainly covered well.
He certainly did, didn't he? We'll never know. It was a design play, right, Dick?
This one to tie it up. And it's even with 5:24. Now this strike threatened and shortened season, and these two teams playing like they don't want to quit. 27 all, late, 5:22 left. James Brooks at the 2. Flag down, and so is Brooks at the 22. And it looks as if the Chargers were guilty of illegal use of the hands. They were. Well, they mark off the penalty. The scores today, New England and Buffalo, the winner of that game to go into the playoffs, and New England won 30-19 at Foxborough. As you see the statistics on that long drive by the Raiders to tie the game. Kansas City surprised the Jets 37-13. Only 11,000 people saw it in Kansas City. Giants over Philadelphia 26-24. It was 28-0, the Redskins winning. St. Louis losing. Pittsburgh over Cleveland. Final 37-21.
Penalty went against Carlos Bradley, number 50.
Here comes Munson.
Whoa, look out.
Really gathered himself, didn't he? To the 12-yard line where Johnny Robinson made the tackle.
4 yards.
You want to know what it feels like to have Chuck Muncie running at you? You'll get the sense here. Pulling guards in front of him, Wilkerson and Big Ed White, number 67. Look at White on Davis there. And look at Muncie coming right at you. He is really running with power.
To the 12-yard line.
68, Johnny Robinson over there to make the stop. Boy, right into the camera.
Second down and 6. Muncie at 114 yards to lead the Chargers. Open is Winslow. And he's to the 30-yard line. And more. First down, San Diego. The all-time Charger passing record holder, Dan Fouts.
Kellen Winslow, you work for the mismatches. You've got one here. Martin trying to cover Winslow. Quick pass to the outside. Fouts is so good at seeing the peripheral areas of the field. Gets the ball into the hands of his receiver. Banging on the sideline over there, but no penalty flag on that one.
5 catches for Winslow to give him 53 for the year. Another big season for the tight end from Missouri. Chandler has been quiet since the injury on the touchdown when he ran into the goalpost. Muncie for about 5 to the 39-yard line. Rod Martin made the tackle. Cincinnati beat Houston today. The Bengals completing another fine year. Tampa Bay in overtime. They rallied to beat the Bears. Miami easily at Baltimore. Rams trail San Francisco. The 49ers lead up at Candlestick. Detroit now in that seesaw game with Green Bay leads by a field goal in the fourth quarter. Denver by 5 at Seattle. And New Orleans romping against Atlanta 35-6 at the Superdome. You're up to date on all the scores. Here it's tied at 27. And Chuck Muncie has another Charger first down all the way to the 45.
No question, this is the best we've seen Muncie run all year, showing the kind of power that really puts fear in the lives of defenses. I don't think I'd want to be a 180-pound defensive back, find myself coming up one-on-one with Chuck Muncie.
Muncie, 25 carries, 125 yards, averaging 5 yards a pop. He gets the call again for only 3 to the 48-yard line. Archie Reese from Clemson, former 49er, played, of course, with the San Francisco Super Bowl champions last year. And that still not decided, apparently, whether San Francisco will make it as a losing team into the playoffs in the NFC. The AFC was defined much earlier. The 8 teams are set, and everything depends on who wins this game as to who will play whom next weekend. Bouts. His arm hit, and the ball flopping, and James Davis had a shot at it. Lyle Alzado and Ted Hendricks applying the pressure. Ted Hendricks is just amazing. 199 games he's just played. Every time they open the door, he just pulls on the helmet and plays like an all-pro.
3 different teams, has never missed a start. Alzado, 77, the man striking the blow just as the ball was slipped up. Almost an interception for Davis there as he came up like a center fielder coming in there, Dick.
And short hopping.
Yeah.
Big play, big. 3rd down and 7 at the 47 in a tie game, 2:52 left. Intercepted. James Davis with only Fouts to beat. He can't get him, and Davis goes all the way for a touchdown. Now look at the Raiders. They empty the bench to go after Davis.
Fouts angry at himself over that pass. Davis, the man who almost got his hands on that fluttering pass, right back with an interception and a highly emotional reception from his Los Angeles Raider teammates.
He had his first interception last week against Denver and celebrated too soon and was tackled at the 5-yard line.
Like that pass intended for Joyner, number 18. Davis had read the pattern, just there ahead of Joyner to scoop that ball up. Fouts had a chance at him. Davis did a good job of eluding Fouts, carried it into the end zone.
So 2 touchdowns by interceptions for the Raiders, and they regain the lead. Barr's try for point is good. And with 2 minutes and 41 seconds, Dan Fouts and the San Diego Chargers will try to gear up a drive to tie it. But it's the Raiders in front now. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. We'd like to welcome those of you who have just joined us. The Los Angeles Raiders and San Diego Chargers still in progress. 2:41 left. It is 34-27. The Raiders have just taken the lead on a pass interception for a touchdown, 52 yards by James Davis. Immediately following the conclusion of this game, the Voyagers will be joined in progress over most of these stations except for the Pacific and Mountain Time Zone stations. They'll see it at its regular time. James Brooks with a kickoff return. 15. 20, and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Pushed out of bounds. Chester Willis got him. Voyagers tips. O.J. Simpson stars in Cocaine and Blue Eyes on NBC tonight. And there are going to be some black and blue eyes here. Raiders and Chargers after what has been a highly emotional physical game.
Scoring pace very slow early in the game. Did not appear that we were going to have a high-scoring game. They've shifted into high gear in the second half.
It was 10-3 at the half. The Raiders in front. They have 2 touchdowns. Los Angeles does on pass interceptions. And going long for Severs. Too long at the 40-yard line. Eric Severs, tight end, covered by James Davis, who has a 52-yard touchdown with an interception. The other one came in the first play of the second half when Mike Davis, not related to James, had a 56-yard touchdown interception. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited. The Chargers have 2.5 minutes left to try to tie it again. Fouts in trouble, and he just gets it away incomplete as he was being smothered by Lyle Alzado, number 77 of the Raiders.
And if you're wondering why Fouts has thrown some interceptions and had some passes that were off target and errant, there's the reason right there. The Raiders putting tremendous pressure on him, have sacked him a few times, have managed to be right on top of him. See the signals going in from the sideline. Play being called to Fouts by signals.
3rd down and 10. The Raiders led 10-3, then built their lead to 20-3, only to find the Chargers coming back with 24 unanswered points. That won't be enough for the first down as Winslow is toppled at the 31 by Mike Davis. It'll be 4th down and 5, and the clock running down to the 2-minute warning. So Don Coryell will have a chance to think it through.
I don't believe we'll see a punt here. Not enough time left in this ball game for Coryell.
So with the score 34-27 in favor of the Raiders, here comes another fantastic finish.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1975, Bum Phillips versus Don Shula. Needing more than a field goal, Dan Pastorini hands off to Ronnie Coleman. He cuts back inside one tackler, breaks outside, then rumbles over a second tackler, sidesteps a third, breaks the grip of a fourth, and powers his way through tacklers 5, 6, and 7. Houston wins 20-19.
2 minutes to go. The winner, very critical home field advantage. The Raiders are going to be home anyway next week. Their opponents will be decided by what happens today if they win or lose. San Diego, they have to go on the road to Pittsburgh if they lose this game. If they win, they are home next week and would play New England. The matchup for the Raiders, Cleveland is their opponent next week if they win. If they lose, it'll be Pittsburgh at home. 4th down and 5. Chargers going for it. And they won't get it as Fouts again was hit as he delivered the ball. So the pressure by the Raider defense, the key here in the 4th quarter, not just the sacks, but the fact they got to the quarterback Fouts. And in that case, again, Alzado able to hit his arm. Lyle Alzado. And now it's the Raiders in command deep in San Diego territory at the 31-yard line. The San Diego Chargers have only 2 timeouts left to stop the clock with 1:55 remaining. Well, Harry Coyle, our director, and Larry Cirillo, our producer, were involved, of course, in the Rose Bowl game yesterday, and many of our technicians, our cameramen, have come down from Pasadena. A doubleheader for them Saturday and Sunday, and in light of the fact that there wasn't a lot of sleep by most of the men and women on our crew, what an outstanding job in covering what has been a most interesting game today. Our thanks for your great support. Marcus Allen looking for more yards, gets a great block, tried to stay in bounds, but skidded out of bounds. You could even see him thinking at the last minute, rather than going for a few more yards, I'm going to try and stay in bounds, but his feet slipped, and he stopped the clock. And, of course, Flores did not want that. That saved San Diego a timeout, even though he gained 6 yards.
Tremendous block by Frank Hawkins, number 27, in front of that play. Just clear the way for Marcus Allen. And of course, pressure really on this defense. They have no choice. They've got to get a turnover here. They've got to try and spring the ball loose.
Or they have to stop them without a first down. They would get the ball with about a minute left. They're not going to stop Allen too much. He does not make the first down. He gets a couple of yards, and that puts him over the 100-yard mark. He has 103 yards today. The sensational rookie from the University of Southern California, and a time is called by San Diego.
Dick, what a roller coaster game this has been. Up and down, both teams showing control of the game at various times. Crowd getting involved, anger, frustration. And there's a man who has to have some interesting feelings playing in his last regular season game. 207 consecutive regular season NFL games, and has announced that this will be his last season in the NFL.
As will Gene Upshaw, retiring. Two veterans in that offensive line for so long. The Raiders ran left behind Shell and Upshaw.
And could you blame them?
That's right. Final scores coming in now. The Rams trying to upset the 49ers' hopes of getting into the playoffs with a 21-20 lead. Detroit leading by 3 late in their game with Green Bay. Seattle defeats Denver, scoring late, 13-11. And another final, New Orleans 35, Atlanta 6. If San Francisco loses, there's one spot left in the NFC, and a big scramble for it. New England won the final spot against Buffalo in the AFC, and those are all the other finals today.
Now, if you don't get your first down here, Dick, and it becomes a 4th down, do you pick the football and go for 3, or do you just try and run another play and take some more time off the clock? I think they'd have to go for the field goal if they don't get it in.
Yes, because the clock would change on stop on possession change anyway. Allen gets the call. And more. Marcus Allen has just won it for the Raiders. They'll have the home field. Oh, my. Allen's second touchdown, the man who leads the NFL in scoring touchdowns. He had a dozen coming in and picks off 2 more in this 4th quarter this afternoon in San Diego. Oh, you'd smile too if you had him as your halfback.
You certainly would. And taking advantage of the vulnerability of this defense, lack of speed on the part of the San Diego Charger defense, Fuller, Mike Williams, take it back, 29, the man who's locked up on the outside. He's got to get up and force, and not enough pursuit to catch up with number 32, who shows you why he'll be the Rookie of the Year 1982.
That's something you could make a poster out of that shot. Marcus Allen, he's been a blur for the defenses throughout this season in the NFL. 140 yards plus. Barr kicks the extra point. So the difference in this 2-touchdown game, the 2 interception touchdowns registered by the Raiders, the Davis boys, James and Mike, each with long returns for scores. Check that on Allen. He now has 126 yards. 126 yards on 20 rushes. 2 touchdowns today for Marcus Allen. He grew up in San Diego. This is the first time that he has returned here to play. Of course, he played his college ball up at USC, but he's not played in San Diego since he was a high school star, a quarterback at Lincoln High School. He comes back today and lets everyone know things are going just fine. We will have all the scores, a post-game show for those of you watching in Los Angeles, as this stadium in San Diego is emptying as if there was a scare of some sort. Look at him go. Allen has chased them home.
You can almost sense the air leaving this stadium as he stepped in.
All right, now we can tell you what the matchups will be next week. As Barr skids one down, and it's covered at the 30-yard line. Assuming, of course, that in the final minute and a half that the Raiders will indeed win this game. Next week, Cleveland will be at Los Angeles. San Diego goes to Pittsburgh. The Steelers get the home field. Jets are at Cincinnati, New England, and Miami. We will have those 4 games for you, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday here on NBC. Check your newspapers for the listings and the time of the games in your area. Joe Pats back to work, trying to come up with a miracle. It's Joyner, who gets to the 42-yard line, and the first down, and the clock runs. Chargers hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Detroit has beaten Green Bay. The Lions thus have some hopes left with that 1 playoff spot remaining in the NFC. We hope somebody back in New York will help us out on that for our post-game show as to which team does get in. Chandler, his first catch in a long time, and he stopped immediately at the 45. Clock is running at 1 minute now, 59 seconds left. Chargers have 1 timeout remaining.
Dwight Scales rushing off the field. 3 receivers, 4 wide receivers in.
Duckworth is in now. Fouts, but unable to get out of bounds is Duckworth. Bobby Duckworth from Arkansas. Clock runs. Surprised the Chargers didn't spend a timeout there. They're looking for a cosmetic touchdown, but they won't have time for the onside kick unless they do something quickly.
Fouts directing traffic here.
Almost a playground play. Just somebody moves somewhere into an open area, and he finally stops the clock with 19 seconds left.
Tom Flores and the Raiders willing to sacrifice the clock, sacrifice the yardage, and burn the clock. 19 seconds away from a very big victory.
It's the biggest scoring day of the season for Tom Flores' Raiders, 41 points.
2 touchdowns off the defense, however. So they certainly have to be grateful for the Davis boys today.
Unquestionably, they shut down Fouts. You called it, Merlin. You said he's the most important single player for any team in the NFL this year, in your opinion. You stop him. That's how you beat the Chargers. And indeed, the Raiders have done that as Joyner goes to the 4-yard line. And timeout called by San Diego. 19 yards on the play. Joyner was looking for the end zone. He has not scored this year, despite the fact he's caught some 36 passes. Yeah, that was a most exciting game, kind of a flat ending, only because of the sensational play by the Raiders, and in particular the 2 defensive touchdowns, the pass interceptions. Stay with us, you Los Angeles Raider viewers and Los Angeles fans. We will have a post-game, but I hope we could get Marcus Allen to talk with us on a post-game show and get his feelings about this game and returning. That'd be a lot of emotions running through that young man.
I talked to him in the locker room before the game, and he was excited about this game, excited about his season. One of the things I talked to him about, I said, was this season different than you expected it to be? He said, well, I kind of prepared myself for a long season. He said, and because of the strike, it's been about the length of a college season. Of course, the entrance to the playoffs is a lot different, but he said, I'll have to adjust to a long NFL season next year. I don't think he'll have any trouble. He is such a graceful athlete. His moves so natural, and as I said, he never appeared to suffer from the mistakes, from the problems that most rookies encounter.
Well, in 8 games, he had 12 touchdowns. Had it been a full year, that would have figured out 24 touchdowns for Marcus Allen. Could be the last play. No, Fouts is going to run it in. Touchdown for Fouts with 8 seconds left.
And a most unlikely way for Dan Fouts and the Chargers to score their last touchdown of the regular season. We've got 8 seconds on the clock. Can you get an onside kick and get one play off?
Might be able to do it.
Maybe.
Benerska is as good at that as anyone in the league. So the Chargers at this point have 34 points and could well lose. They lost 28-24 to the Raiders in Los Angeles after leading 24-0. Benerska's kick is through, and a total of 75 points in the game. Now it's up to Benerska to come up with something that'll elude the grasp of the Raiders on the onside kick. Our thanks to Ted Nathanson, coordinating producer of NBC Football, and in particular today to our men on the scene, Larry Cirillo, our producer, Eric Coyle, the director. Technical director was Bill Tobey. Ray Benassi, our associate director, down from the Rose Bowl. Glenn Adamo as well, our associate producer. All the rest of you men and women. And our thanks also to our spotters, Bill Edwards and Dan Sexton, helping in the booth, Bob Sexton and Tim Sexton. We're surrounded by Sextons. Thank goodness. They're friendly folks. Well,
overloaded on the left side, Dick. Obviously an attempt to get as many people as possible. Raiders up.
And look where Brooks is back there.
That's a safety.
Yep.
He's a safety.
Lester Hayes, without the glue on his fingers, able to cover it for the Raiders, and that'll do it. The Raiders need only to snap the ball and fall on it, and this game is history. And what a game it was, as the Raiders have beaten the Chargers twice this year. Jim Plunkett and company will go home with the best record in the AFC, 8-1. That means that if they win, they don't have to leave. Well, they're not even in Los Angeles. We can't even say that. They don't have to leave Los Angeles as their home field advantage. They'll go back to the Bay Area to train for it.
But playing in the Coliseum in Los Angeles, they were 4-0, undefeated during the regular season. And it does give them the advantage of playing in an area that they're very familiar with, very comfortable in.
The Raiders and the Washington Redskins in this shortened season finished with the best records. Each team 8 wins and only a single loss. They have earned rightfully the home field advantage in the upcoming Super Bowl tournament. Don Coryell's team will have to go on the road to Pittsburgh to open the playoffs. We have to go to our studios in New York.
Good night.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. Len Berman in New York. The Raiders do it. They are the #1 seed throughout the AFC playoffs. They'll start by hosting Cleveland. Let me give you all the scores around the National Football League today. The New England Patriots got into the playoffs by beating the Bills 30-19. Kansas City beat the Jets 37-13. The Giants over Philadelphia 26-24. Washington, as the Raiders, go 8-1, beating St. Louis. Pittsburgh over Cleveland. Both those teams make the playoffs. Cincinnati becomes the #3 seed. They won. Tampa Bay did it in overtime. Capiz, second week in a row, won it with a field goal. Miami kept Baltimore winless for the year. The Rams are about to knock the 49ers, the Super Bowl champs, out of the playoffs. Detroit then would clinch because they beat Green Bay. Seattle over Denver finished moments ago. New Orleans took care of Atlanta 35-6. And the fantastic game you saw, the Raiders over San Diego 41-34. So it is all set now next Saturday and Sunday right here on NBC. We don't know which 2 games or which day. Cleveland at the Raiders. The Patriots will not have a snowplow at Miami this time. The Jets are at Cincinnati. San Diego on the road in the cold in Pittsburgh. Those are our 8 playoff games on NBC next weekend. The NFC teams, 7 teams are set. Detroit has just done it. The 49ers have been defeated by the Rams. Detroit in the playoffs for the first time since 1970. We now know the final 16 in the strike-filled year in the National Football League.
Good night.